How does it sound now? Yeah, see.
Ooh, this that cute. Ain't no drama, only venom when I get my dues. Respect, I'm the next tycoon. Got a pad full of greens, couple M's my soon. Unbeliever, do you see the confidence? Got some people waiting for me on the fence. I live it, but never see me on the fence. Best believe that when I win, it's common sense. I'm designed to fly, defeat all demise. The best me, no fear, no compromise. 100 degrees, I breathe more to life. You should disconnect and throw in the wise. And a hand that's in this. Gotta back it up a high percentage. Got a heart in my sleep non-stop. Stepping up to the seat, more shots. Getting those I'm alive, unleashed in the fire. Out in the wild. You can never stop me. Watch me dive, I'm free and it's my time. Up in the stars. You'll never forget me. But not holding back on the side. Only get better with time. Ready to own what is mine tonight. I'm alive, unleashed in the fire. Out in the wild. You can never stop.
All right, everyone, how are we doing tonight? I'm back for this week, and as per usual, I'm joined by Mr. Karthik as my colorcaster and Artful Dodger as our producer for tonight. But we're getting ready for this week, and it's going to be a little bit of a spicy one here. A lot of great matchups going on. Why don't you give us some insight into those?
Yeah, it's going to be a great week of games here, Salt. I am excited. We're going to start off with the Outlaws versus Panthers in game one, then head over to VAD for Hounds versus the Nocturnals, and then end off with Hornets versus the Spartans. An exciting set of games, a lot of close records between them, and each team will be looking to take the edge in the league in this week.
I mean, it's looking kind of spicy, especially here for game number one. You know, we got the Outlaws, we got the boy Juanito, but also taking on one of the greatest casters here, Victorious Becky, on the other side of the matchup here. So it's going to be a pretty crazy series of games tonight.
Yeah, and I believe we are ready to go straight into the draft, so let's do it. Outlaws versus Phantoms. We're going to start off with hopefully a Fiddlesticks ban here. There's going to be a lot of pocket picks and target bans coming across as these guys got a lot of interesting champion pools here. So we'll see what gets banned out and what gets picked up.
And I mean, that Fiddlesticks ban, even though it is a pocket pick, it's also still fairly strong in, this sort of elo bracket that we are sitting at, plat, gold. Does a lot of work, especially with its ability to clear and stay very healthy and a very powerful ganks post 6. But we'll see what else the Panthers have in store for us here.
Yeah, as the time runs out, they're gonna pull out the Kane ban. So some very interesting but annoying junglers. Oh, never mind, that's a Jarvan. So going into a meta jungler ban here, but another target ban coming out for blue side. So you see, blue side
Mhm.
has the luxury to do these target bans as they can first pick the most OP characters, while red side they don't have that luxury. So they gotta ban out the strong Melio and the Jarvan picks right away.
And Milio being one of the strongest supports, if you are on red side, it is a must ban unless you do have a pocket counter to it. There are a lot of ways to deal with it in lane specifically, but if it's allowed to scale, that's where it does shine because as it gains levels, as it gains just items in general, it starts really outputting big damage. But it's going to be that Tristana again. It's mostly pocket picks, like you said, getting taken away from the Panthers here.
Yeah, and that does leave up a few interesting picks. A lot of the stronger ADCs are left open, like the Zaya, Varus, other things like Caitlyn and Jinx too. So we'll see if any of those get being taken up. And also on the side, there's some interesting junglers like the Maokai and the Vi still left up. And yeah, we'll see if either of those get taken up. As oh, they're hovering the
Ooh.
Seraphine.
So it is going to be that Seraphine first pick here. potentially, and it is going to be locked in, and it's very, very effective in these elos, right? You're allowed to just farm up, scale up, and be that massive, strong team fighter that Seraphine is known to be. But she is at her weakest during lane phase, very susceptible to ganks, does need a little bit of assistance, but she can clear waves fairly well. But it's going to be a power farming jungler coming out from the Panthers. Going to be that Udyr, who has great ganks at the same time, but really does want those levels just become tanky and get those points in the Phoenix stance.
Yeah, the Udyr's a good pick coming. It's a nice blind with not a lot of counters in there, so it's easy to pick that up early. Similar to the
Mhm.
Seraphine, even though it might have counters, it's flexible between three different roles, so you can kind of pick and choose where you want it to avoid some bad matchups. And Varus, that's a strong early game ball laner.
And you can build it one of two ways, right? You can go for that whole poke centric Comet build, Halo Blades build with lethality tier and all that, or you go for the on hit with Blade of the Ring King, Immortal Shield Bow, stuff like that. But it is going to be that Ashe, and while she has risen in priority as an AD carry because of the support nurse, I still think in order to make her really, really strong, Milio is her best friend because she can actually output a lot of damage, especially with that range dominance she does get. So I don't know how I feel about the Ashe pick, just sort of blind. It isn't, it isn't Tavares, but still, it is mostly a utility pick. You're not really picking it to do much outside of toss those arrows and maybe put a little bit of damage and be non negligible.
Yeah, there are some what some might say like better picks in the Ashe in the meta, but it seems like
Mm.
it is just a comfort pick for them. If the Seraphine does end up going with the Ashe, then it has a lot of range in the lane and they can play quite safe. But when they do hit their ultimates, they have a decent amount of CC that the Kayn could come along and gank and get some kills with.
So they're really, really looking for this post six play coming in from the Outlaws, right? They have a lot of great ultimates, a lot of range with them, right? The Ash Arrow, the Seraphine Charm coming in from long range, and the King can just swoop in from between walls and look for some big plays like that. But the Panthers so far have a really good just stand your ground composition, right? With the Varus who can stand his ground, who can poke out if he goes lethality, but also has that key ultimate to look for plays too. And again, the zone control, especially with Udyr Phoenix stance, with that empowered stance, and the Victor gravity well, just a lot of zone control in tight chokes coming in so far.
Yeah, and that makes it a bit hard for Kane to play, right? When you have this range with the Varus and the Victor, it's hard for Kane to get up if he doesn't find a nice flank or find interesting angles with his E to go through walls. So we need the Kane to be creative, especially in the team fights, because it's not the easiest to execute, especially if you go red
Mm-hmm.
Kane.
Definitely. And realistically, they should be farming relatively similar. So there is not going to be a huge advantage for this Kane jungling against this Udyr farm wise. They both clear AoE camps very well. Their single target's strong as well. So it is looking towards these, mid lane bans, solo lane bans coming in from the Panthers, right? Because they want to try and defend their Victor pick and maybe try and prep for something top lane as well because they have left support to phase two.
Yeah, and that's going to be a couple more bands coming in. The Yone, another interesting matchup into the Victor. While the Garen's being hovered, we know Becky's on the side of the Panthers, and that's a special favorite of his. He won't be afraid to bring
Mm-hmm.
it out in any role he plays.
Becky loves that. Garen was a big voucher for when you were playing back a little while ago with Camaro Matt. But we'll see. They're most likely going to lock support here, and there are some good supports left up on the table, right? There's still the Yumi. You could potentially go to Tom Kench or maybe engage with like Nautilus or Blitzcrank, which is very strong into the Ashe and into the Seraphine, right? Those two low mobility champions don't really like dealing with big hooks. But there's a lot of options for the Panthers, and it's going to be the karma to just assert lane dominance with this Varus.
Yeah, lane dominance is the name of the game when you got Varus Karma. They're going to have all the push in the world, and they'll be able to do whatever they want because the jungler they're facing, it's a Kayn. Not really something you're scared of in the early game.
Whoa.
Should okay, he's hovering a few things. We'll let him see what he likes to lock
Let
in.
him
I
cook
would
a
like
little
to
bit.
see the ASO coming in as it's a pretty strong scaling pick right now. So good lane into the Victor as they both just want to chill and scale up over time.
And I'm expecting the Asol to go Comet over First Strike this lane. Doesn't really have that range advantage, so just really wants to farm up and get stacks as early as possible and get some harass if, the need does arise. But grabbing up that Mordekaiser, a very, very strong blind top, right? It's basically a stat checker, can build tank items, and I think the tank build overall is just a lot stronger than the full AP variant that you're seeing a lot of people go,
Hmm. Yeah,
going
the
that at
Mordekaiser,
Iceborne
I
Gotcha.
always love to see it. Oh, don't switch to the Malphite. All right. It's gonna be the Malphite. It's understandable. You got Varus, Victor, Karma, all immobile characters, so Malphite's gonna be looking to knock them up and combine with the CC of Ashe and Seraphine to have some really good setup in the team fight. So they're going for it's interesting because Ashe and Seraphine probably gonna be pushed in, and the same thing with Malphite, right? You don't really have any big early game presence in this game for the Outlaws yet.
Hmm. And just going off of things in general so far,
Oh, I
right?
love that.
These some crazy pickups coming through, and it's gonna be that Swain, right? And it's a lot of just low range
Oh, that's
mobility.
not Swain,
I'm
that's
sorry, that is
Silas.
not Swain. No, that is the wrong tab I'm in. Silas is amazing into these compositions, right? Every single ultimate apart from the Kane feels really, really great to take.
Yeah, the Silas is great here, and I love that he's not like afraid of picking Silas just because it's top, right? It's a great matchup into the Malphite, and you can just take that Malphite ult and use it on the Aso, on the Ashe and Seraphine, and get that team fight started. Because other than the Varus ult, there wasn't a lot of CC other than just Udyr running in with his Ornhorn stance, and yeah, the Silas just gives them that angle of engage. And so far, I'm really liking this Panthers draft.
Hmm. And I mean, all things considered, right? The Panthers draft is looking really, really solid going forward. They have just a lot of stand your ground. They can take these ultimates and play forward as well. Um, but overall, I mean, both comps look really, really strong. But if they one comp just gets a big pick, I think that's going to turn the game pretty, pretty well.
Yeah, and it really comes down to like I feel like they just have stronger characters in the current meta. Like Kane, Ash, it's a bit like not the best characters that you could pick. You're gonna have Varus and Karma just shoving lane in the entire time, and how are you gonna punish them, right? Like as soon as the Kane walks up, they've got the slows, they've got the speed ups to literally just walk out of there, and like I just think it's gonna be really hard to survive if Obongo and Tomato are able to push their early game power in the lane.
Hmm. And getting this early push is going to be very, very easy with the Panthers, especially with Karma, Varus in lane. It's just so incredibly difficult to deal with, so obnoxious. But we'll see if the Outlaws are able to just weather the storm and play for their ultimates, which is really what they need to do. Survive till 6 while giving up minimal farm to have agency in this game.
Yeah, exactly. And you got a bit of like a power farming stock coming in from both junglers, so we shouldn't see too much action in the early game. But in my opinion, Udyr needs to try and make something happen because if you both just farm it out, Kane's gonna pull out ahead pretty easily. So I want to see Udyr trying to go into these lanes, right? Like the Aesol, he can be stunned up. He doesn't have mobility if you just cancel that one dash that he has. And same with the Malphite. Before 6, he's just a sitting rock. So we'll see
Hmm.
if they can make something happen.
Usually, the main play against the Malphite, right, is that very early level 3 dive because it's very hard for him to get prio, especially against the champion like Silas, who has better wave clear early. Uh, I'm expecting the Silas to just, cue the wave, get a couple bits of Conquer staked up, and then look for a dive here with this Udyr, right? It shouldn't be all that difficult because Udyr's clear is very, very strong too. So we'll see what play they do opt to look for here in this early game.
Yeah, and usually we don't see a lot of dives coming out this league that early, but I really want to see teams trying to push their priority and take advantage of their early power, right? Like if you pick just like this completely late game scaling comps like these and not have any prio early, you should be punished for it. So I
Hmm.
want to see these teams now that we're like a few weeks into the league, they got the synergy built up, they know what who's capable of what, and just really try and push that envelope and make the most out of this early game pressure.
Hmm. And drafting all late game can work sometimes, but you really have to pick your battles and play properly. So we'll see if the Outlaws are able to do so. But I do favor scaling with a mix of early game, and that's exactly what the Panthers have drafted, right? They have that bridge with their bot lane to just snowball the game out of control, right? If they can get some early bot plays off or potentially just use their bot pressure to try and draw Kane down towards the bot side and allow Deer to have free reign on the top side. Either way, it's a great look for the Panthers here, and I do think I would have to give them the draft advantage here.
Yeah, I completely agree. I think their characters are kind of have a lot easier time in this game. Another thing that we haven't really talked about this mid matchup, we've got two mages who are happy to scale up, but when you're looking at how they play in these team fights, right? Victor
Mm-hmm.
is so good at kiting around with the movement speed and his abilities, while Asol, in order to do damage, he kind of has to remain still. And I feel like even though Asol's got crazy damage in the early game with his passive stacks, Victor is a lot easier to play in these team fights. And in this league, it just comes down to those dragon fights or those baron fights in the river and which team can perform better there. So in my opinion, if Victor doesn't get hit by that Malphite ultimate, it'll be pretty hard to catch him.
Hmm. And I mean, Victor can actually opt for that whole tanky build that we've seen a lot of them go. You know, the Rod of Aegis Seraphs. It doesn't do near that much damage, mind you, or as much damage as normal Victor, but it still will work and it should get the job done because the main thing he has to worry about is getting one shot, right? As long as he can survive the initial engage, but be it either positioning or items, I think this Victor is going to be this little bit of a key here from the Panthers because their Varus Karma, while they do have a great lane phase, I just don't think they scale all that well in comparison to like a crit carry like the Ashe. So we'll see how they're able to allow this Victor to prosper in this game. And they do have a lot of defensive tools to use, right? They have a lot of ultimates from the bot side, right? The Chains of Corruption coming in from the Varus can do a lot of work here, especially if this Kayn, just walks up without a flank. The Karma also has a lot of moves to be built in with her empowered shields, the Inspire doing a lot of work there. But overall, if this Victor plays well, I think the Panthers should just win.
Yeah, and speaking of the Karma, actually, we've seen like Karma in team fights. A good Karma actually uses the ultimate E to just give so much utility to the whole team instead of going for like ult Qs for damage. So I think just seeing that decision making in these team fights will actually make a really big difference onto whether the Malphite and the Cade could get onto them or if they're just going to be like kited to oblivion the entire time.
Hmm. And I mean, worrying about being kited to oblivion is going to be a scary thing, but overall, I just think it's all about the first 10 seconds of the fight. Who can land their skill shots a little bit better, right? Because again, even if the Panthers are ahead, the pick capabilities of the Outlaws is just so incredibly scary.
Yeah, that totally makes sense. I think we both give a bit of an edge to the Panthers here, but this
Mhm.
game is like far from over from the draft anyway, and it will come down to that execution. So we'll head right into game a bit. We'll be back after a short break. Don't go anywhere.
When I write, can repeat it, every legend gotta fight. A new world when I flip, make it tight. Ain't nobody doing minutes how I like. Seat buckled up, going up like a bike. I'm alive, unleashing the fire. Out in the wild, up in the sky, into the light. Watch me dive and feel like it's my time. Up in the stars, with every stride, our future's bright. Cause I'm on to the next. The way I shape shifts makes them call me a threat. Running on this path, never done, no regrets. There is nothing you can do when my face done instead. You're in front of the best. Different league if you wanna get to me. I give him pedigree. Yeah, I only got a picture on a centerpiece. I'm alive, unleashing the fire. Out in the wild, you can never stop me. Watch me dive and feel like it's my time. Up in the stars, you'll never forget me. But not holding back on the side. Only get better with time. Ready to own what is mine tonight. I'm alive, unleashing the fire. Out in the wild, you can never stop me.
Don't ever say it's over if I'm breathing. Racing to the moonlight and I'm speeding. I'm headed to the stars, ready to go far. I'm start walking. Don't ever say it's over if I'm breathing. Racing to the moonlight and I'm speeding. I'm headed to the stars, ready to go far. I'm start walking. On a mission and get high up. I know that I'ma die. Reaching for a life that I don't really need at all. Never listen filter replies. Learned a lesson from the wise. You should never take advice from somebody that ain't tried.
All right, everyone, how are we doing? Getting game number 1 on the way. We have the Outlaws on the blue side, taking on the Panthers on the red. And it's going to be a little bit of an invade, at least for vision, coming in from the Outlaws here. So they're setting up to get this ward down in the red side jungle. So we'll see how things will
Yeah, the
go.
Seraphine E is ready, but she's at the back of the group, so Victor's gonna be able to see the first person, get some first strike gold, get some gold from the
Oh.
ward, so he's really happy right now. But
Hey.
they do get a ward onto the enemy red, so they're gonna know where this Udyr starts, and that's a good start to tracking him for like the first 4 minutes of the game.
And they actually ended up getting 2 wards down, right? You see one at the red buff, one by that Raptor pit, in exchange for one in that line brush by the top side of the map here for Panthers. And this early vision, I don't think they needed to commit 2 wards, to be completely honest. I think it was fine to just commit 1.
Yeah, this isn't like a Jarvan or Vi that has to gank really quickly. If Udyr wants to take that stun in the early levels, his clear actually suffers a lot. So most Udyrs, they do want to full clear and get to that level 4 and just take it easy in the early game, but they do commit the wards because I guess what else are they going to do with them, you know?
That's fair. The ganks don't come in all that early, and realistically, he should be looking to gank the bot side of the map here. Or
Yeah,
just
actually,
look
the
for
Kayn,
defense.
he went for the
Ooh.
enemy Raptors, but it got spotted out. And it's actually a really good cheese if the jungler doesn't spot him, but I believe Udyr had the presence to go and check the Raptors, and Kane's coming back. He really wants those Raptors.
He wants to try and hit that level 2 as soon as possible, but Udyr is on the red. But again, it's going to be these level 1 fights coming in for the Sylas, who does have a pretty strong level 1, especially against the Malphite here.
Yeah, he can actually go over the
Oh, there's
wall
the
and
Kayn.
try and steal the red. He takes it away from the Udyr. This is the prime Kayn gameplay that you like to see. Kayn, he has 2 camps. Udyr has none right now.
And you knew this was coming, right? The ward was there. The ward was on the red buff, and just slides in, grabs that red with a nice smite. And the Udyr, I think he should have just tried to drag that into the bush there.
Yeah, it's a bit lazy kiting by the Udyr. He did see the Kayn for the first time, but he wasn't really concerned that the Kayn came back. But you can see the power of Kayn in that early game. Even though he had to reset the camp, he still finishes it and gets across the wall to pick up the red. So really good start for the side of the Outlaws so far.
And a lot of that has to do with the jungle patch just a little while ago where, you're no longer dealing reduced damage to enemy camps, right? So the Kayn's actually able to clear that Raptor camp so quickly, unlike before.
Yeah, exactly. So good start there. But taking a look at like the summoners on each side, the Ashe and the Varus both taking the cleanse here. So neither of them gonna have like the double combat sums for this lane. But I believe in the end that should still be an advantage for the side of the Varus Karma in the early game.
And just not burning these sums is going to be great here for Varus and for Karma. But Udyr is so incredibly low here on this blue buff. Will have to smite to stay alive here.
He doesn't have
Hits the level
smite.
3. Hits level 3. We're okay. We're chilling.
Oh my god, yeah, that was a bit close there. As Udyr, he took out half his HP trying to finish up his camp and didn't even get the red buff regen, so it was a bit rough, but he's gonna make it out okay. But Kayn has more than double his CS right now. This Kayn is showing off why he picked this pick, why he's comfortable on it, and why the enemy should be scared. So he's not even done his entire jungle. He's gonna keep going, accelerate that lead.
We're going to be very, very far ahead here of this Udyr for the early bits of the game at the very least. But we see the Sylas doing a lot of damage here to Sirius. And Sonic is just trying to get some execution damage. Maybe just pop off and push this wave in. The Malphite will have to teleport. Is very low on both mana and HP. Sylas having that slight advantage here.
Yeah, and Sylas is going to continue to have that advantage. His trades are just so good as Malphite's shield protects us back from getting stopped, so at least he can get away from him. And he's going to pick up a null magic, start getting that MR going as the entire top side, Sylas, Udyr, Victor, they're all magic. So the itemization path is pretty easy for him in this early game.
But it does kind of feel bad because you are Malphite who wants to prioritize armor, and majority of the team is actually magic damage here. But Sonic doesn't really have all that much mana to really try and push the wave here, so is in a little bit of a rough spot here. But this Malphite should be able to clear this one out. But Sonic, as long as he autos the wave with the next passive auto, should be able to do so. But Sirius doing a lot of damage here to Sonic, and the attack is low, actually doing a lot of work. Gonna miss that clap. But just a couple more autos. But Becky's here on the top side of the map here. Has already popped the Ghost here. Going to force the flash away with that Phoenix stance. And Sirius steps up too far. But the wave is still in a bad spot for Sonic. But Becky's here to just push that out.
Yeah, Becky's helping out his top laner, saving his life, getting the wave in, and Malphite, I don't think they're going to be able to dive him just because of no mana on the Silas, so he's going to get out scot-free, going to be able to pick up most of that CS under tower.
And in exchange for that, though, for that little bit of knowledge, it's going to be the dragon claimed up here very, very quickly for the Outlaws, grabbing dragon number 1. And really, that should never be happening with the bot lane of the Panthers, right? They have Varus, they have Karma. They should never, ever, ever be under their tower.
Yeah, it's kind of crazy to see how much prio there is, and it's because they know the Udyr is top side, so the Kayn comes bot side. I believe the enemy bot lane spotted him, so they just backed off. And Ash Seraphine, they're going to continue to have that prio, but they are a few CS down because of that roam to the dragon.
But they're not down any XP, and that's where it really, really matters. Being down 5 CS, 10 CS, you're A-okay with that because you have a support that scales so incredibly well.
Yeah, for sure. And talk about scaling, mid laners both just picking up the stacks as Asol, he does get stunned up. Victor's coming for him, and that should be the flash.
Flash forward, Tanjiro may go down, but Frozen Forever just cannot confirm the kill. So it is going to be a trade of flashes here for both mid laners, but only one ultimate burn. Frozen not going to have that one for the next little scuffle.
Yeah, the Victor not quite knowing his damage as he's still on a Doran's ring, so I really didn't like that flash to try and just like kill the Asol. Like, you already have the Asol backing here, so taking the flash advantage in my opinion would have been better, but he's playing aggressive. He wanted to go for the kill. Can never blame that.
And playing for the kill is very nice here, but Tanjiro looking for the play here will find the stun with that big old meteor from the sky. Won't find the kill, but will force Frozen Forever's TP.
I mean, Victor still has TP, so he kind of just got ult for free. I feel like that's better for the Victor, if anything. And he's going to get off an easy back here regardless of how much damage he's taken. And he gets a lost chapter, while Asol, he just gets like a tier and a couple of books. So better back for the Victor here, as when you got two wave clear mages just going at each other, mana's going to be the name of the game, right? We saw when they were both backing, they were both at basically 0 mana. So when one's got a lost chapter that's going to be helping them out every level, I feel like Asol might fall down in tempo in like a few minutes unless he gets some jungle help.
And those catalyst nerfs hitting a little bit here, right? Because so far, Tanjiro not able to get that catalyst of Aeons, right? Should be building towards the Rod of Ages. There is not a better item on Asol. So, unfortunately, not able to afford that catalyst just yet, so just goes for the double amp tome. Actually goes for the lost chapter, which I don't agree with.
Yeah, he just takes an instant back again, just wants to get that lost chapter, I guess. I agree with you, the Kalish may have been better this game, but he's going for the damage route. He wants to be the big scary dragon this game.
But Becky actually getting a good invade here, you know, sort of punishing wherever the Kayn is, at least getting something in return for that horrid early game that happened so far. The early levels just felt so awful for this Udyr.
Yeah, he is a lot of CS down, but he's going to be picking up the blue, picking up the Gromp. Kayn does clear pretty quickly, so we'll see if he does get caught out, as Ash getting caught out here. Has to burn the ult. Varus
Ultimate's
doing
down.
the damage.
Varus does have that Chains of Corruption. Not going to look to use it, right? The cleanse wasn't burned, but Becky going to be forced to pop that ghost. Going to be slowed down here. Forgotten Metal's already up on this top side. And here comes the Malphite as well. Serious for Y. Might be looking for something, but the ghost has already been burned. Can't look for anything more. But this could just be a Rift Herald. So double objectives going over to the Outlaws so far this game.
Yeah, and I believe that one W onto the Udyr, that was the first amount of stacks that Kayn has got almost 9 minutes into this game. So it'll be a while before he gets that form, as oh my god,
Oh my goodness, what do you
so
know?
much damage.
Forced to flash away here. Going to go down with one more Q. The arrow lands true. And Obongo grabs the kill.
Yeah, that's a lot of CS lost again. She's so far down, but it does get traded for this Herald in this top lane, as Kayn is pushing the tempo of the game in this early game.
And that's not exactly what you want to hear if you are a Panthers fan, right? This Kayn sort of running the early game, that's definitely not ideal. But Frozen Forever, maybe a little bit of a rough spot here. Gonna land that meteor once again. The root actually gonna go wide from the Seraphine. The stun's gonna land as well, but Pone trying to get under. The Deathmaster maybe will find the kill with the Emerald Trespass. One more skill should be able to do it, and the auto will, as the Kayn slides through. But here comes Udyr, and it's just gonna be a free kill, picking up the scraps. The cleanup crew has arrived.
Yeah, that does end up being a 1-for-1 in the end, but because Seraphine roams for the mid, roams for Herald, the Ash does end up going down. So yeah, Kayn gets a few more stacks again, right? So I feel like it's going to be a long time before he gets that form, but he is making some good progress towards it, as this next dragon's going to be coming up. And I feel like this time, Panthers got to fight for it. You know, you can't just let the Outlaws just get away with all these heists on the objectives.
Mm-hmm. I mean, getting these dragons is the play here for the Panthers, right? They really need to try and focus on this bot side, get things rolling here. They have this bot lane that should have permanent prio, and so far, Obongo and Tomato have been doing a great job of that, right? They've been sort of, up in farm. They're up 20 farm. They got a kill as well, knowing that Seraphine did roam. So they're punching as best they can. But so far, Becky just hasn't been playing around this double ranged bot lane.
Yeah, he's been going more of the power farming route. Oh, here's an engage.
The Encore lands onto 3. The cleanse going to be burned here. And into the backline goes Deathmaster Pone trying to find one. But no Umbral Trespass available as Becky will find the kill with the Phoenix Dance here, slowing down Juanito as well. But should just look to run out here. Asol is on the flank here. Tandro does not have the ultimate available though. And Udi are going to immune that double from the Seraphine. But Becky can step up here and try and guard away as Tandro running for the hills, trying to get out to safety here. Should be able to walk away, but it is going to be a big win here for the Panthers.
Yeah, and that's just what we were talking about, right? The Kayn gets kited so easily in these fights. He didn't have the ult, so Udyr stuns him up. He gets kited and killed, and this could be the dragon going down to the side of the Panthers.
And it is a little bit late, but they are going to at least get one dragon in the back pocket for themselves here. They have a nice 2k gold lead going in towards that 15-minute mark, so they have started moving up the pace a little bit here.
Yeah, and Kayn, he does have the whip, so he's gonna probably be going for the Gore Drinker, if I see the build correctly. What are your thoughts on going red Kayn this game?
I mean, I just don't think there are many tanky targets for you to really worry about. You do have enough damage there with the Asol and the Ashe to deal with the small front line that the Panthers do have, right? It should just theoretically be that Udyr frontlining. So I think just going the blue Kayn probably would have been better this game to just try and deal with this Victor, deal with this Varus, and deal with the Karma, right? Just get rid of them as fast as possible, one-shot one of them, and then the fight goes to chaos. But Tandro going to cancel away on that dash.
Yeah, we'll try to look for something. The Victor is easily gone, and we see that Udyr is actually 2-0 now. He got a lot of kills, and he's looking pretty scary in this game. And honestly, I think it's just gonna keep getting better for him. Udyr's mid game is so good compared to how I think the Kayn's is gonna be. So despite that CS lead, I don't know, like how is this Kayn gonna actually find damage onto these carries?
And the Kayn just doesn't have form yet, right? But here comes the Malphite going in, uses that Unstoppable Force, but it's going to be the stolen Unstoppable Force getting Sonic out.
Yeah, and that just goes to show that matchup is so good for Sylas. Malphite engages with a knockup, Sylas goes straight out again.
And Sonic gonna have to defend against this Repel. Should be able to do so nice and easy. But here comes Becky into the backside. Sirius has no mana, but Deathmaster trying to do some work here onto the Udyr. And is going to cut away with an Umbral Trespass, get a good chunk of damage there onto it, but a beautiful abscond from the Sonic grabs the kill there, and Sirius is going to run for the hills as well, but they should just be able to grab this one up, and Becky will grab that one with a slam of his fists.
Yeah, and that's going to be 2 kills going over to the side of the Panthers here as they try to be greedy for this Herald. The Malphite, he wants that Demolish proc, so he walks all the way up, but so much damage from the Sylas as the duo is just so much stronger on the side of the Panthers. The Udyr, the AoE damage coming out from him, as well as the passive procs from the Sylas, just melts both of them on the other side.
And it's just really, really rough here, right? They had a great early game coming so far with this Kayn, but so far it just hasn't had that same impact as the Udyr. We were talking about how strong Udyr can be in the early and mid game, and it's really showing, right? This Kayn thought, hey, I have a farm lead, this should just be free, but the stun lands under the tower as well. That should be a free kill, but Tomato will trade it back as Obongo trying to run for the hills, doesn't really have that DPS to try and match, but Juanito takes an arrow to the face, and one more auto would have done it, but no, Obongo cannot find the kill.
Yeah, he doesn't flash for the auto at the end there, but Karma actually, she gets caught under tower and gets Ashe ulted, but despite that, they still kill the Seraphine. That's how much damage comes out from this Varus Karma early game, as Varus, he already had the Duskblade for that fight, so they're just so much stronger in that duel.
And imagine if Varus had the Eclipse instead, but so far, it's going to be another fight in the top side, but I really don't think the Outlaws win this one. They're stuck on the wrong side of the map, and the Umbral Trespass has been grabbed and should just be used very, very quickly onto the Kayn. Going to slash and reap away at that Frost. But so far, the fight is going heavily in favor of the Panthers as they're trying to get more, but they cannot find anything. They grab one and should just be able to convert this into Vision and a Herald.
Yeah, another great fight by the side of Panthers. This Silas is just looking so good in these fights. He's really hard to kill. He's finished up the Everfrost, and he runs down the mobile Kane. As Rift Herald's about to spawn now, doesn't seem like they're gonna go for it just yet, though.
And Kane even had that form. He had form for fight and still just couldn't really convert on anything. Doesn't have the damage. And really, Gore Drinker doesn't do all that much apart from heal you. The damage just isn't there in the item. So
Yeah, and here's the thing. Those are the two targets that you want to be fighting against as a red Kane. It's not going to get better than that. When the Varus and the Victor start coming into the fight, it's going to get even worse here, in my opinion. As Kane, he's looking for the Silas, but I feel like Silas just walks away. Yep.
has the double dash to get out to safe, or just a single dash, but also has that Everfrost to just buy space. And it's just so hard to catch out the Silas, who also, already has that completed Mythic and the Lucidity boost, so has a lot of movement, a lot of ability haste available to just move around and use these cooldowns on repeat.
Yeah, and Kane's actually just starting up the Herald. He has no prior for this. He really shouldn't be getting away with this, as the Udyr comes down to check it out, and they should spot him and chase him away.
We see the pings coming out. They are forced off the Herald, so the rotation coming in from the Panthers' top side just right onto this Herald. Gonna look to grab this one up here, but Sonic going in to try and fight out Sirius. The Everfrost does not land, but finds the slow, but is gonna find a big chunk of damage here as Obongo and Tomato just trying to push at this tower and knock it down.
Yeah, the Kane and the Asol are coming, but there is a lot of vision, so they should see them in time. I believe Varus and Karma should be able to get out. That
Ooh, everyone's wide.
Dodged, and that's got to be it, in my
The
opinion.
skies descend. They don't land, though. The damage is there, but the Encore lands from so far away, and it's going to be a free kill over onto the Karma, but Deathmaster's going to fall. The Chains of Corruption land, and the teleport coming in on the backside as well. Silas has the Malphite ultimate, should just look onto the backline here, but tries to commit onto Tundra, will find some damage, but Juanito's going to fall first. And it's going to be Tundra next on the menu. And Seraphine goes down as well. It's just a clean 4-for-0 in favor of the Panthers.
Yeah, huge turn by the side of Panthers as they get the TP down. They punish the Outlaws for going too far out, trying to dive them under turret. And it just blew the entire game open as they have a 6k gold lead and a Mountain Dragon to their name.
And they're just pushing waves. They already got that tower as well. 2 towers down. And Malphite goes trying to try and grab an objective bounty for now. Get something in return. But the Outlaws are just running out of steam here. They haven't really found themselves a foothold in this game past the first couple minutes.
Yeah, at least they get a bounty in the top turret. I think in these next few minutes, they're going to have to try and look for some miracle plays, right? They do have the playmaking. They have Ashe ult, Seraphine ult, Malphite ult. If they can get that onto something like the Varus Karma who are farming mid, that's the win condition to try and turn this game around, as it's currently just getting away from them every minute.
Yeah, sort of running away from them at high speeds, right? The Panthers just doing so well in this mid game, right? They've gotten 2 dragons, they gave up 1, but they've made a big comeback after what looked like a really, really abysmal early game. But look at this vision on the bot side, right? Such a great line of vision placed here by the Panthers before the dragon, and there is going to be a little bit of a pause here.
Yeah, a little bit of a pause gives us a moment to just assess the state of the game, as mythics are starting to come around for everyone. We see the Jack Show for the Malphite, the Liandry's for the Asol, going for that damage build, and yeah, the Gore Drinker for the Kane, which we thought wasn't going to be that powerful, hasn't really paid off yet, as I think that's a wave here ultimately.
Sonic is going to take a lot of damage though from the tower here, and we're going to get that little bit of a buffer here, but Sirius did use that ultimate to clear out the way for Sonic to take a lot of damage here. But as soon as the game starts moving again, we see that Deathmaster already on the way towards this top side of the map. Very
I believe
close.
the Ashe ult actually just got shot out too, so if this Ashe ult can hit, and it does, this could be the kill.
This could be a free kill. The knockup lands, and it's going to be a shutdown going over to Sirius, grabbing that one nice and easy. And, I mean, ultimates all around looking pretty solid there. And, again, we did say even if the Panthers are ahead, the pick potential from the Outlaws is just so insane.
Yeah, beautiful arrow from Juanito's Soul. Gets the hit onto the Silas, and this is exactly what we want to see from them to come back into these games. Look for those picks, not only there, but even before these objectives come up. They got to get there first, get the vision down, and try and pick people off, because I think if it's a 5v5, they don't stand a chance.
The 5v5s are looking really, really rough here for the Panthers, right? It's just mostly wallet differential coming in if they were to 5v5, right? The top side of the map, even the bot side of the map is just so rich in comparison. It's just
Yeah,
so
Ashe
difficult to
hasn't
play.
completed her mythic, but Varus has 2 items complete. That is the difference between the ADCs, with the plates and the kills coming in onto the Varus.
1.1k gold up, almost 1.2 for the bot laner, right? Obanko doing a great job, up a lot of farm, got a lot of gold from plates too, like you did say. And again, lethality items so gold efficient, right? You get one lethality mythic for 3100, 2900 on the Manamune, and you are in a great spot for the other ADs. You can even complete 1.5 or even 1 for that matter.
Yeah, exactly. And it's weird. I feel like Ashe should have completed it, but she's gonna be cashing out her cull, so surely after that, she's gonna be able to finish up her items. She's looking
Mhm.
to get that done before this next dragon comes up in like 2 minutes, as the top laners, they're just duking it out. Malphite, I
Mhm.
feel like he's got enough MR now to survive against the Sylas in lane, so not gonna be too much going down. Just gonna be a wet noodle fight.
Definitely. And you see the Sylas opting for more of a teamfight centric build with that Shadow Flame. Shadow Flame doesn't really do all that much against high MR targets. It does a lot against the squishies on the bot side of the map, though, right? A lot against the Ashe, a lot against the Seraphine, who both have very low MR values in comparison to that Malphite, who has a Negatron cloak as well as that Jock Show.
Yeah, and also it does a lot if they're affected by shields. And there's a support that just gives an AoE shield to everyone.
Exactly. And they're already starting up on this Baron here. 20 minutes into the game. 10 people are alive, though. But they are just sneaking this one out. They do have some decent damage on it. But Sonic going to get spotted out here on this control ward here. And Deathmaster is going to slide through that wall and should be able to spot them one out here. 2,500 left on the Baron. Arrow's going to land onto one, but the Baron is going to go down. Victor going to get knocked up here by the Kayn. And they're running to try and catch one out. Into the backline goes the Kayn. Will find an ultimate onto Becky, but it's not going to do all that much as Kayn's trying to get into the wall. Will be forced to flash away. And it's going to be a heist coming in from the Panthers. Stealing this one away. Called them the Pink Panthers.
Yeah, the Panthers, they had the vision in the area, so they're just like, all right, we have a lot of damage dealers. Let's just take the Baron at 20 minutes, and it was as easy as that. They could not react because they did not have control of the map for the Outlaws, and that's an easy Baron going down. That makes it an 8k gold lead for the Panthers.
And it's just so hard for the Outlaws to play this game out so far, right? They drafted full scaling, so they just weren't able to get prio anywhere on the map. And it's really showing, right? They're hitting this 20-minute mark, and they only have one item apiece. They're in such a rough spot here, as we see mostly 2 items coming in for every single member of the Panthers apart from support.
Yeah, and the bot lane is chilling around here. I want to see maybe the Malphite look for a flash ult or something before the rest of the team gets there, but they're going to be backing off. They got their backs off, and the dragon is coming up. I feel like it's really hard for the side of the Outlaws to contest this.
It's going to be a rough one here. It's going to be another Mountain Dragon on the table here for the side of the Panthers, and that just makes this game so much harder because now they're tankier, right? The Outlaws really needed them to just be as gold devalued as possible, right? But it's just so difficult at this point in time as the Dragon's spawning up here in just a couple seconds, and we see, look where Frozen Forever's standing, right? Unafraid of anything. But Malphite could look for a play here, but they aren't going to commit anything. And this Dragon should just go
they're
down.
just so late on the tempo. I feel like if the A-Soul or the Ashe was nearby, that Victor should have been dead. The Ashe ult just came out, the Malphite ult was ready, and the Victor, he was by himself on vision. I feel like they should have gone for that.
And look at Frozen Forever walking up when you're taking so much damage. Smite going to come through. Deathmaster going to be able to grab up that red buff.
Yeah, and now it's just going to be another lull state in the game as they're going to still have that Baron buff. I believe, has it run out yet, or do they still have it? They still have it. So there's still a bunch of top lane turrets. I want to see them try and group up top, pick up some more gold for themselves, and then round out the game with the Soul in the next 5 minutes.
And we see this Varus already moving towards the top side. Obongo and Tomato moving their way up towards the top side of the map. Should be able to get this tower nice and easy, but we see Deathmaster waiting in the wings here, and in goes Tandro, gonna look to find that falling star onto 2, pulling them in with that singularity, and Tandro's gonna find the execution with the black hole, and Obongo's gonna go down as well. The Rebel Trespass will find the kill, and it's gonna be a little bit of a pick coming out for the Outlaws.
Yeah, and we wanted to see them group, but they did not. They actually... Oh. Alright, so he's gonna be chilling. He's gonna be chilling. But
out.
it was just the Varus Karma. The rest of the team wasn't there with them, and neither of them respected the A-Soul ultimate. They didn't flash it. They didn't want to, and they got punished. And despite the Varus burning his flash after it was too little too late as they both get picked off.
And that's just a little bit of disrespect coming in from the Panthers, right? They thought, hey, this guy doesn't do that much damage. We shouldn't really worry all that much. But, I mean, this A-Soul, has been farming pretty well. Should have a lot of stacks in the back pocket, which just increases the size of the ultimate and increases the size of that singularity. So I mean, there's just so much pull coming in from this Ace ult. They just should have flashed. That's all there is to say.
Yeah, I feel like the Varus definitely could have gotten away. He had the cleanse and the flash, but does end up going down. But this is what you want to see on the side of the Outlaws. Continue to look for picks like that because the Panthers, they're not playing it perfectly. They have the ability to get picked off, and that's what the Outlaws gotta look for every chance that they have their ultimates back up.
Mm-hmm. I mean, that's what they have to look for, right? The Ash Arrow from downtown, followed up by a Malphite or a Seraphine, just anything. Just try and find these picks because that's really all they can do. They don't win 5v5s like you said anymore, or in general. They really need to just be looking for these picks with these key ultimates, and they looked, but they looked on the one with the dash.
Yeah, it doesn't end up working out this time, and the Shorelius pop, they want to try and get this mid tower because the side of the Outlaws are scattered somewhere else, but the Ace ult, he's got the wave clear, he's chilling, and he is able to save that tower with ease.
And Aurelion Sol sitting at a pretty solid amount of stacks there, 242 in the back pocket, so Deathmaster trying to fight Sonic here, but it should just be a lost cause. But Juanito does not really have the way in. But the knockup's going to land here and a good chunk of damage there onto Sonic. But the Umbral Trespass has been stolen away. And Ross goes in, tries to find a little bit more, but isn't really doing all that much damage. The Flash is forced, and Sonic's just going to be able to walk out with only Bird in the Flash.
Yeah, and that does mean it is a 4v3 on this bot side, so the Panthers should be looking to get this tower, but the wave clear from this Ace ult is just so good that it just nullifies it again.
And they do have great wave clear, right? They need to find a way to try and get rid of this Ace ult, but they just aren't able to do so.
Yeah, they have the power to do it as well, but the Varus hasn't really been engaging with this ult at all in this game, so they're just gonna be chilling, not really able to look for anything. Oh, Victor's caught.
They're looking at Frozen, and he's going to go down very, very easily here, but still alive. But the Charm lays onto 3, a beautiful encore, but the shutdown goes over as Becky goes unstoppable, but the skies descend. Will they fall? Will they find anything? The Bird may be enough, and Frozen running for the hills, but a cleanse comes out from Obongo, taking it for the team, taking one, and running away. They make it out to safety, the Tupper coming in as well. Sonic is going to try and join this one, but doesn't really need to, as they have been able to walk away to safety, but they're looking to re-engage this one. They have the Umbral Trespass, Sonic trying to get in, but the Flash is forced away from Forgotten, and it's going to be a big one for the Panthers. But nothing more.
Yeah, so many ults blown there, but double TPs coming down here. They've got the resets. They're all ready for this dragon. Somehow the Victor didn't die. I feel like the Outlaws just thought that someone was going to kill him, but no one actually did. He lived on a sliver of HP for a few seconds before flashing out there, and that just feels so bad for the side of the Outlaws. You use so much, but you end up, I believe one of them went down, but no one on the side of the Panthers did.
And it was Deathmaster who went down, right? 30 seconds here up until this dragon, but Victor no flash, so that's going to be something they can try and punish.
Yeah, Victor no flash, Varus no flash either, so they gotta try and look. I feel like they have to contest this Mountain Soul and look on these carries. The Ashe ult is gonna be up, the Malphite ult is gonna be up. We need to find a huge value from these ultimates right now.
Seraphine ultimately going to be up very, very shortly after it spawns as well. She has a lot of ability haste, but Sonic just zoning away the jungler of the Outlaws.
Yeah, Kane's actually snuck onto the bottom side here. He is a character who can get over walls very easily, so he's gonna be looking for a steal for sure. The Panthers gotta keep this man out.
10k on the dragon here. They're trying to pull it out here a little bit, try and force Kane to walk up a little bit further and try and look for the victory. See the pings, they want to go in.
Yeah, and the Kane is waiting, lurking in the shadows. They're walking up.
Only
Malphite with the
2.
ace.
Unstoppable Force, and here comes the encore onto 3. The guys descend, find a lot of damage here, but they just can't confirm any kills. As the dragon goes down, it's gonna be Mountain Soul claimed up and Frozen, still alive. It's just a wipe here. Double kill for Sonic, who's popping up in the backline, and Frozen still alive as well. Tundra trying to get up, cannot slither over that wall with the Astral Flight, as Frozen will finally go down, but the shields are not enough, and Sirius cannot find the kill. Frozen is still alive, and Sirius is just running as fast as he can. The cheese wheels aren't enough to save the game as they're running straight towards Baron.
How did that happen again? It was a beautiful engage from the side of the Outlaws. I actually thought they got the miracle fight, but they're not able to finish off a single person. The Victor, he lived on 1 HP like 2 times in that fight. He just does not end up going down as the Panthers pull out with the win. The Udyr takes the dragon, wins the spite fight, and it's going to be the Baron going down too. The Panthers are looking to end this game.
And this should just be a free end so far. The towers are pushed in. The waves are in a great state for them. They can just walk to any lane so far and maybe take a base and get something in the back pocket nice and easy. But they're in a great spot. Sonic already pushing down towards the spot side. Has a lot. Has the arrow as well. Gonna look on Juanito Soul. Force the cleanse out of that one. Or actually it's just gonna be dodged here. So Juanito not gonna die.
No, I believe he actually used his flash, so that's actually.
Oh, the flash. That's even worse. But Sonic goes in. Gonna get rooted up, but the damage is there. Juanito is so incredibly low. And Forgotten gonna get chunked as well, but they are going to live.
Yeah, the Silas just does so much damage there, and yeah, everyone on this team is just so far ahead, and I feel like it's just depression right now on the side of Outlaws, as they had such a good engage. I felt like they were gonna win it, but they just didn't have enough in their pockets to finish it off.
It's just looking really, really rough for the Outlaws. Their only win con is trying to find a pick here onto the flashless carries, and they still don't have flashes, right? So, Deathmaster actually going to give that one over to Tantra, saying, hey, you don't need that one there, friend.
Yeah, I feel like he's got enough 10 that's a lot of damage from the Varus. This is the power of the poke Varus, right? He just does obscene amounts of damage. As the Aso, he's not in mid right now, so no one's there to clear those waves, but Panther's not going to be stepping up to try and take that just yet.
Yes, but the bot tower should go down nice and quickly so far with the rotations coming in. They're going to grab that one up nice and easy as the arrow goes wide, but it doesn't really matter. The cooldown is so incredibly low here, but they're pushing forward. They have this siege meeting to try and do some work here onto this tier 3 as the poke's coming out here, and there's no real contest from the Outlaws.
Yeah, I feel like now that the Baron buff is there, Aesol cannot provide that same level of wave clear, even though his singularity just takes up so much of the lane. Alright, maybe it is enough, as it's so hard for the side of the Panthers to walk up. That is the power of the Aesol. So much zoning coming from him, but not everyone on the team provides that same kind of value. I feel like the Kayn was not able to do much in any of these fights, and it kind of felt like a 5v4 in these games.
And you know, you can't blame everything here on the Kayn, who did try and get something done in the early game, but after getting one advantage, they didn't really look for anything more, and I think that was just the team not really knowing what to do with their lead, and it sort of just fell apart when they tried to make plays on Sonic and onto Becky, the two big old meatballs with a mouth fight. Doesn't really work out all that well.
Yeah, they weren't quite able to finish the tanky people off. I would have liked to see something, you know, Ash ult and get the Kayn in there, something like that. Maybe get a Malphite roam down. As we saw the Silas TPing down to turn the tides of the fight, right? But Malphite never did anything to that same extent, as he's gonna see it. I think he ulted for the Gromp.
He did ult for the Gromp here, and Sonic doing a lot of damage here. Deathmaster trying to survive, but doesn't really have all that much in the back pocket. But here comes Obongo coming up to the top side, trying to find an arrow through the heart here. But it's a lot of healing, and they're going to find one at the very least. Obongo will grab that one up nice and freely as they're pushing in the mid lane as well.
Heal fast. Neither of them had any healing reduction, so until the Varus game, no one could really kill each other.
And guess what Varus has in base kit? It's going to be some heal cut with that E.
Exactly, and right after he came, that Kayn just melted. Another quick pick, but no objectives here to take just yet. Ooh, Axel hits. Can they do it?
Arrow lands here, but the Sky's Descent will land onto 2, but the stopwatch will buy some time here for Frozen, as they're just going to walk away. They don't even care at all.
Yeah, the Udyr was just zoning them all during that entire time. They couldn't walk up with his Phoenix stance up, and yeah, Victor just gets away for free. I feel like he didn't even need to stopwatch.
No, did not need a stopwatch, but you have to remember that Sky's Descent does a lot of work here in these big situations, right? The Karma actually took a big chunk of damage, but was able to sustain up with those shields and that Ocean Dragon as well.
Yeah, exactly. And the singularity, this Sky's Descent, they just take up the entire lane at this point, as this Aesol has been farming his stacks extremely well.
And unfortunately, not able to make the most of those stacks, right? 366, almost at 400, in a really, really solid spot here, and should be able to farm up that Sky's Descent very, very quickly, especially with these supers coming into the base. They should just be giving every wave to Aesol, because realistically, this Aesol is the only fighting chance they have.
Yeah, and speaking of fighting chances, the Elder Dragon is coming up. The Kayn, he's going to be looking to win the Smite fight this time, as I feel this is going to be the best chance they've had in a while. Can they get this Elder Dragon away? Can they sneak it, steal it, and then use its power to win a fight over the Panthers?
And really, now that the game has gone on so long, the Outlaws do have their one and final chance. It's a flip at the Elder. They need to try and get this objective in their back pocket here. Elder is the most valuable prize possession of any team here. So whoever gets it basically wins the game.
Silas gets that Malphite ultimate. That is so key to start off these fights. And I don't think you should flip it. You gotta start this fight, get the Malphite ultimate going with the Silas, and just get them low and don't let them try and fight
Oh, it's
for it.
going
Here
in,
we go.
finds two, and the Seraphim's going to go in instantly as the skies fall down. The star goes down, but they can't really do all that much off of the backside. Sirius can't fight anything as he does negative damage towards the backline, as it's another double kill for Sonic, who's just running amok with the help of Becky. This top side, just unkillable this game.
Yeah, Sonic just runs into 3 people, kills them all. Double TPs come in. The Panthers are looking to end this game right here, right now.
And it's not even going to be close. It's just a free end here. They're just trying to pad their stats, get a little bit more farm in their back pocket, get these towers down, get these objectives down. They don't even need the Elder, as the next is going to fall 34 minutes into the game. And that's just a big win here for the Panthers. Looking
Yeah, you
so
know,
strong.
the Outlaws, they lasted a long time, even though the game was rough. But in the end, it was a great engage from Sonic to finish off this game. This Silas going huge in this game.
I mean, taking a look at the damage charts, right? This Silas did so much damage, 31,000 damage overall this game, and that's almost more than double the top damage from the side of the Outlaws, right? 16k there on that A Soul. So things were just looking kind of rough, all things considered, for the Outlaws. Just, again, they had a good first couple minutes. Their first 5 looked really, really nice, but after that, they just couldn't find the foothold. They sort of coin flip fights towards this top side and just could not convert on any kills, even with the gold advantage on the Kayn, because the Malphite doesn't really do all that much against double damage.
Yeah, and the Malphite, the big value from the Malphite is that ultimate, and the fact that it can just be picked up by the Silas is just so crazy, as he was the one who gave him the ultimate to start the fight, to get the engage onto the Seraphine and just one-shot her, and it was just so hard to play. Like, the Kayn, he did really well in that early game, used that mobility to steal 2 camps from Becky, but in the end, the Udyr, he's just that big AP bruiser tank that can't be killed, creates a lot of zoning, and you know, Malphite doesn't have that same amount of pressure on the other side, so the Panthers, they just pick up the win as the team fights are just too easy for them.
Mm-hmm. And I mean, at least the Outlaws know that they do have ways into games. They know that they have a strong early game. They know how to path properly. It was just unfortunate they took a fight on the wrong side of the map, right? Their 2v2 just isn't that strong, right? It's Kayn no form with Malphite taking on Udyr Silas post 6. I think that's kind of rough, no matter how you look at things.
Yeah, and I feel like a lot of it did come down to that Silas versus Malphite matchup. The Kayn came to the lane a few times, but the Silas is just so good in that matchup against the Malphite, and he was just a threat the entire game with the roams, with the amazing engages with the Malphite, and yeah, he really pushed his limits, and it was a great performance by him to give the win to the Panthers.
Mm-hmm. And with that, we're going to be heading over to a quick break as we got things rolling here for game number 2 of the night. We'll be right back in just a second. You don't want to miss it.
They told me I would never see the rise. That's why I gotta get 'em every time. Gotta watch 'em bleed too. Don't ever say it's over if I'm breathing. Racing to the moonlight and I'm speeding. I'm headed to the stars, ready to go far. I'm start walking. Don't ever say it's over if I'm breathing. past the setting sun. Someday I'll be overcast, but you won't have to cry. 'Cause we'll do the grieving while I'm by your side. I said, don't try to make yourself remember, darling. Don't look for me, I'm just a story you've been told. So let's pretend a little longer. 'Cause when we're gone, everything goes on. And I'm so scared of getting used to this. All the vines that keep you tethered in your room. You said I'm sorry that you worry, but don't apologize. I told you to forget me, but you stayed by my side when I said, don't try to make yourself remember, darling. Don't look for me, I'm just a story you've been told. So let's pretend a little longer. And when we're gone, everything goes on.
This ain't where the legends come from. You know what a hero looks like. Pretty little flower, won't you sit back down and go play nice? So keep talking, keep laughing. One day you wish you had it. Other people on fire, fire. Maybe it's time they meet their dragon. If you're gonna hold me down, you're not gonna let me into your castle walls. None of you can keep them. 'Cause if I gotta burn it all down, then we'll burn it all down. My oh my, look at who winds up bigger this time. And if I gotta break it all down, then let's break it all down. Bye bye bye, playing with fire, and we'll burn it all down. This is where the bruises come from. This is when the game gets ugly. These blood, sweat, tears keep running. Licking my plate 'cause I'm so hungry. Keep talking, keep laughing. One day you'll see what happens. Other people on fire, fire. It's about time they meet their dragon. If you're gonna hold me down, you're not gonna let me into your castle walls. None of you can keep them. 'Cause if I gotta burn it all down, then we'll burn it all down. My oh my, look at who winds up bigger this time. And if I gotta break it all down, then let's break it all down. Bye bye bye, playing with fire, and we'll burn it all down. It starts right now.
All right, everyone, how are we doing? We're getting rolling here very shortly here for game number 2 of the night, and it's going to be the Hounds taking on the Nocturnals. And it's going to be a pretty big fight here because the Hounds really want to lock in this first place as quickly as possible. And to do so, they need to try and win as many games as they can for the next little bit.
Yeah, the Hounds are at the top of the standings here, while the Nocturnals, they're struggling a bit at the bottom. So each team, they got something to play for. The Nocturnals, they believe they're better. They're going to come out swinging, while the Hounds looking to solidify their place, as you said. So it's going to be an interesting matchup. You know, the Hounds, even though they're at the top, they've lost twice already. So gods can bleed, and the Nocturnals will be looking to do that in this game.
Mm-hmm. And, I mean, the Nocturnals, they're trying And I do think they have a really, really solid chance as long as they get their big pickups. And,
Yeah.
you know, they're in a good spot, right? 4-5, they're sitting right in the middle of the pack so far. But if they can just try and close out, a couple more games, they're going to be in a really good spot come playoffs.
Yeah, exactly. And honestly, the whole league, it's looking pretty close, you know? There's no like 0-17 at the bottom or some 7-0 team at the top. It's a pretty close league and anyone can take a game of anyone. So before the draft gets started, you can't really see the game going either way here, as both teams, they got some strong players on each side.
Hmm. And ooh, we'll see how things roll out here, right? The Nocturnals, apparently they did lose the game they just played, so they are now sitting at 4-6. So, I mean, it is going to be a little bit of nail biter, right? We are sitting at week number 4, and there are 3 more weeks left in the regular season. So that's essentially like 11 games left to play. So every game counts at this point.
Yeah, exactly. We are getting into the tight games. Now that we've gone a few weeks into the season, the each of the teams should be comfortable with all their players. Everyone should have their synergy on point. So we're gonna be looking to see who takes care of having better macro, having better vision control, all these things that may have been a rough when we saw these teams before in the first couple weeks.
Hmm. And I mean, the Hounds are still sitting pretty at the top, so they are in a good spot. And they've been showing why they're so dominant here in their games that we've seen on stream. But overall, I mean, it's really just trying to claw towards that middle pack. And the Nocturnals, I mean, looking at the standings, right? A lot of teams are at 4 and 5 wins so far. There are about 4 teams in that middle ground at that low point, but they both have the chance to try and pull themselves up towards that middle of the pack and maybe even caress the top 3 if they really, really put the pedal to the metal here.
Yeah, and I believe we should be ready for draft soon as we're almost ready to head into it. But I guess before that happens, we got some time to talk about these stats. You know, the
Hmm.
Hounds, they are the leaders here. You got Arsenal at the top KDA in the entire league with the lowest deaths per game. This man plays extremely clean, while Ultra, their support, highest assist in the league. Actually, wait, I don't know if he was their support. Never mind. Sorry, Darwin was their support, second highest assist in the league. So they are ready to make the plays in the early game, play really well as a team together. Because I believe 4 of the 5 people are the highest in the KDA in the top 10.
Hmm. And all things considered, right, they're looking really, really solid overall as a team, right? I mean, they have a lot. They also have pretty low deaths overall, right? They have 4 members of their team in the top lowest deaths per game, and considering how many games have been played, that's really, really good.
Yeah, honestly. And on the side of Nocturnals too, you know they've been struggling a bit in the standings, but a standout player for them, Ishan, who their mid laner is, he's in the top 10 for the highest kills per game. He's got the 6th highest damage per minute in the lead, and I believe their support Vagar feed, he's 7th highest in the vision score as well. So they've got the potential. They have been playing well. They just need to finish out these games and actually pick up the dubs, which they'll be looking
Hmm.
to do here.
And if they're able to do so, they'll be in a really, really nice spot as the games do go forward here. And this is basically the halfway point of the split here before going into playoffs. So this is where they can cement themselves a good lead, a good cushion to just stay afloat and keep their standing at the top.
Yeah, and with that, we are ready to head into draft as all the players are ready and prepared. We got some sussy people in the chat over here, but we're about to get it started as we're going to see what kind of happened last game. Are there going to be some target bans from the blue side, some meta bans from the red side? Let's find out.
And it's looking like Target Man's coming in from the blue side once again, right? The Jin, not really too prevalent. Rakan is actually a really interesting pick to be banned away here. I don't think it's really worth banning on red side because there's just so many counters to it, right?
Yeah, exactly. And the Jin, like I don't know, but I guess it's just a target ban, right? But the
Mm-hmm.
Rakan here, a really good pairing with Zaya, who I believe is one of the best ADCs in the game right now. So you want to take that away because other than the Rakan, like she doesn't have that same level of power with the other supports. But you're gonna see there's a lot of meta picks still left up here. We'll see if any of the other ones get banned out.
So the Monkey King going to be taken away by the Hounds, and it's going to be Annie as well. So really big picks taken off the table. Annie still has that flexibility to go into the support role as well as that mid lane. So getting rid of that is going to feel really nice, as flex picks are really, really strong on blue side. But we'll see
Yeah.
what the bounds are going to be rounded out with.
Yeah, I believe Darwin has been spamming Annie in solo queue, so good to see that taken off the board as she is just such a strong character. And yeah, one more band left on each side. The Wukong also taken out. I think he's a very good blind pick jungler. Same with the Maokai. So they're
Hmm.
taking some junglers off the board, so they're probably going to be looking to try and get a counter pick on that and try and get a power pick in one of the other rules.
And it's just jungle bans all around coming in. Sorry, excuse me, from both sides. And it should be a nice power pick. Not really a power pick coming in from the Hounds with this hover.
Yeah, the Mundo so early. I'd be surprised if that gets locked in because there's a lot of counters to it. And yeah,
There
that
we
makes
go.
a lot more sense. The Zaya gets taken up. The Rakan is banned out, so they'll be looking for some more other supports here. Do you have any good ideas for what they might pick up?
Milio was actually left up and wasn't first pick by either side. So realistically, the Nocturnals can just grab Jinx and Milio and be really, really strong.
That's true. This new character has come to the Rift with a lot to prove, and it works well with both Zaya and the Jinx if that gets locked in. So he's honestly just like a modern Lulu. He does so well with these kind of carry ADCs. So I just want to see one of these teams try and take them, as I believe we have not seen a single Milio game on stream yet.
Hmm. And I've been playing a lot of Milio recently, and comp and all that stuff. And Milio is just such a atrocious champion. It is so disgusting to play. You don't really lose that many lanes. There are a couple of hard counters to the champion, but you just provide so much value to the team that it doesn't even matter if you're counterpicked. But it's actually going to be the Vi locked in here for Nocturnals, and I think that was a little bit of a blunder. I think now Hound should just lock in the middle and say, hey, we're balling here. We're taking this pick, and we're going to run with it. You gave us a gift, and we're not going to say no to it.
Yeah, and I'm surprised they take the Vi. Like, I understand with the Wukong, J4, and the Maokai band, Vi is one of those premier picks. But Zaya can just press R and nullify the ultimate. So it's
Hmm.
weird to see that coming across. Like, usually Vi does get picked to kind of pick on those ADCs with the point and click. But Zaya's the one ADC you can't really do that on. While the Sejuani, I think that's a solid pick, has a lot more tanking ability than the Vi. And I think it's just a better pick on the Hounds here for the jungler. And yeah,
Hmm.
Milio, please pick it.
It's up. I mean, I think if neither side picks the Milio, they are 100% griefing.
Okay, apparently Hounds is grieving. We'll see if the Nocturnals also grieve. As it's a new character. I feel like people they haven't put the time into it. They're not comfortable to pick it up just yet. And honestly, I wouldn't be surprised if it's just a Lulu coming out here.
Just lock Milio. Just lock Milio, please. You win the game if you lock Milio and don't int lane. That's it. Very, very simple.
Yeah, and it's a good matchup into the Thresh too.
Hmm.
Like the Thresh isn't super threatening in lane compared to some of the other things that you can see.
There we
And
go.
there
Thank
it
you.
is. The Milio. We've been praying, we've been begging, and it gets locked in for the side of Nocturnals. Jinx Milio is a scary combination here, and we'll have to see how the Hounds deal with it as we go into the second ban phase.
If the Hounds really wanted to deny the Milio pick, all they do is they pick Blitzcrank instead. And you say, hey, you lock that Milio, you're going to have a hell on earth with that champ. So have fun. But the Thresh, like the reason why Blitzcrank works so well is because you bring Milio to you instead of bringing yourself to the Milio, which is exactly what you don't want to do against that champion.
Yeah, exactly. And Milio is just such a strong pick right now. We'll see if the side of Nocturnals can pilot it effectively. I'm looking at the games for Veigar feed here, and I do see like, oh no, never mind, not a single one, not a single Milio game. So
Doesn't
he
matter.
may just be first timing it. I'm pretty sure he's not that hard. I personally haven't tried it, but
I
he's
first
been doing
timed it
really well.
in comp. It is perfectly fine. This champ is so unbelievably broken.
Well, hopefully that's what the Nocturnals will be looking to do as well as we see some usual mid lane mages being banned out, the Victor, the Cassiopeia, and the Ari here.
And a lot of interesting bans. I mean, I'm not too big of a fan of the Cassiopeia ban. I think that's mostly just a target. But the Victor and the Ari bans make sense. Victor's one of the strongest control mages, is the strongest control mage left on the table. And Ari just provides so much value to a team, right? She has great mobility, great pick potential, can do some decent damage, but the Gnar are going to be taken away as well as we round out the bans moving into the first blind pick coming in from the Nocturnals here.
Yeah, Ishan's highest played character is Cassia with a 68% win rate, so good to see that taken off the board. But he plays the Silas, he plays the Irelia. We'll see if any of these spicy picks come along as well. But it's gonna be
Oh,
Tom Kench. I
Thomas
guess that's
Kench gonna be
top.
locked in. It has to be top. Milio, you don't want to solo lane with Milio. No wave clear. His buff doesn't really provide all that much value to himself. He really needs to be paired up with a carry, to be fair. So then it should just be Tom Kench up in the top side. And realistically, it's super hard to kill a Tom Kench, even if you try and gank it. I mean, you have a low damage jungler locked in here so far for the Hounds, so really you just need to try and pick something that neutralizes the pick and outscales the Tom Kench. And I hope that Yone's going mid because I'm pretty sure it just gets rolled by the big old catfish in the top lane.
Yeah, the Yone, he does have that scaling that you were talking about, that if he
Hmm.
can get out of the first few levels, if he can buy some lifesteal in the early game, I actually believe it's not too bad if the Yone builds right. You can't build the same as you do for the mid lane, but
You would have to
to
build Blade of
get
the Ruined King.
lifesteal, exactly. With that Borg, I actually think it's a good matchup into the Tom Kench if you survive that early game. And yeah, that should be Yone top with Oriana
Hmm.
mid.
I mean, it could just be a C9 flex where they put that Oriana up in the top side. We saw it happen.
Yep.
It didn't look that great, mind you, but they won the game.
Yep, they did end up winning the game, and that's what the Hounds will be looking to do too, as Oriana is just another stable mid lane mage who's going to be able to scale up nicely, and the Silas, another strong pick, a comfort pick for the side of Ishan, going to be locked in here most likely. Some
Hmm.
decent ultimates here for him. Not the best, but not the worst either. It's going to come down to the execution, and he's got a 70% win rate on that character, so hopefully he'll be looking to perform.
Definitely here. And I mean, there's good ultimates with the Oriana, with the Yone. The Fate Sealed is always great to take. Sejuani's ultimate also very, very strong. Thresh can do some decent damage, but it's not really the best ultimate for Silas to take. But there's a couple of bad ultimates, but some really, really strong ones for him to take. So overall, I think the Nocturnals have a really, really solid draft. They have themselves a Vi to try and gank this mid lane over and over because you can't really gank a Xayah post 6. She just ults your ult, and then you are just. The feathers are pulled back and you die.
Yeah, exactly. And the Silas looking to be going in with the Vi, same with the Tom Kench. So it is a bit of a dive comp coming out on the side of Nocturnals. And Oriana is pretty good into it too, as she wants to kite people out, wants people to go into her. And as you said, Zaya is ubiquitous for this. She loves people going into her and pulling those feathers back. And
Mhm.
yeah, a lot more of a standard comp. Yeah, you got some dive with the Yone and Sejuani, but a lot more front to back comp coming from the side of Hounds.
Definitely a good amount of front to back coming in from the Hounds. But I mean, a lot of flank angles could be used here from the Nocturnals. They have a good solid backline with Tom Kench guarding the Milio Jinx, and the Vi Silas just a huge disruption value, especially with the ultimates that they have to take. So overall, I do think the Nocturnals, if they play it properly, they have a really, really great chance of winning this game.
All right, I do think it's gonna be really close. A lot of the games recently, they've just been a draft of who's been playing better, but I think there has been good drafts from both of these sides here, and yeah, I think you're just saying the Milio's that OP that their team fights damage is just gonna be stronger. So if that does end up coming through, because Thresh, she doesn't amp up the Zaya like that Milio does, and I've played against Milio enough times, oh my god, it is obnoxious to deal with once he scales
Hmm.
up. So, that might end up making the difference, but just to get some competition going, I'm gonna say the Hounds will take it instead.
Alrighty. I mean, both drafts do have again. Hounds do have good pick potential. They have a lot of single target lockdown with the Thresh, with the Sejuani, and they have great follow with Yone Zaya. So overall, the Hounds do have ways into this game, but they really have to try and end this one fast. So you go for the Hounds. I'm going with the Nocturnals. I think they have a really, really solid chance here.
Yeah, and I think it's just gonna come down to that execution in these lanes. A
Mhm.
lot of these lanes are gonna be close. Is Oriana gonna be able to hide out the Silas, or if Silas is just gonna be able to jump onto her? If Yone can survive that early game against the Tom Kench, but also like, how is this bot lane gonna go? Zaya Thresh, they've got a decent amount of pick potential. If Thresh lands that hook, and if Milio doesn't have the six, they don't have any cleanse or anything to get out of it.
Mhm. But overall, I do think both comps have their pros and they have their cons. We'll see which pro con list will end up taking the victory here in just a little bit as we're heading into the game in just a couple minutes. So we'll be right back, everyone. You don't want to miss it.
시험들 다 뿐이미 But all of my numbers are talking back 부루마법 message monopoly 넌 종이 돈이 나 real money 필요 없대 너네들이 만든 돈들 go get it go get it go get it 더 미션 눈을 못대 못해 그래 너도 get it cause I got it different All I'll ever know is life upon the throne 시작하면 끝을 보는 거야 You want more No I got it so deep though You look like you could use some more No I got it never running low Yeah I got more than enough let it up and away You know I got it like bomb bomb blow your mind Never giving less and that's how it'll stay You know I got it like all day all the time When I go it's for gold get it cool but I'm cold I don't fit in a mold I'm a rebel I don't do what you say making moves I don't wait while I smile in your face I got different DNA What's higher than the top that's me Come take a look before falling at my feet 조용히 몸을 숙여봐 So take a look 나를 기억해요 queen All I'll ever know is life upon the throne 시작하면 끝을 보는 거야 You want more No I got it so deep though You look like you could use some more No I got it never running low Yeah I got more than enough let it up and away You know I got it like bomb bomb blow your mind Never giving less and that's how it'll stay You know I got it like all day all the time Way out 感觉犹如海浪的味道不断往前 oh you never way down This is how I do it every day Wow wow 这一路上的奇迹都记住了你的每一个瞬间无比的耀眼 I know you want some more 准备好就一起走 Giving it all more No I got it so deep though You look like you could use some more No I got it never running low Yeah I got more than enough let it up and away You know I got it like bomb bomb blow your mind Never giving less and that's how it'll stay You know I got it like all day all the time
Alrighty, everyone. How are we doing tonight? Game number 2 underway as the Hounds in red taking on the Nocturnals. Or sorry, the Hounds on blue side with the nice red logo taking on the Nocturnals on the red side with a nice purple/bluish logo.
Yeah, it's gonna be a nice default coming out from both sides here. Nothing's spicy gonna happen, unfortunately. I would like to see, try and look for an invade with the thresh or something, but maybe they didn't want to start with the hook. So nothing good. Just everyone hanging out around river, the mid laners dancing with each other, and yeah, it's gonna be a chill early game. Anything you want to point out with the runes or the items being taken so far?
Everything makes a good amount of sense so far. The main thing I'm actually going to focus on here is the Milio. So far, has the bone plating, has the revitalized, good. But I really dislike the Scorch. I don't think you need that. Your job isn't to win lane on that champion. You just take Gathering Storm and scale.
Yeah, Milio looking to scale the entire time.
Bob is also troll on Vi.
Oh yeah, she did go with the Hail of Blades. She wants to make action happen early, I guess. It is respectable. I don't think it's too bad, but it's like if the ganks don't end up paying out, it's gonna be rough later on in the game.
And overall, so far, it's just gonna be a standard blue side start for both of these junglers going in, right? So Vi gonna grab up that blue buff, move towards the top side of the map here, trying to affect the Tom Kenjione lane, which I don't really feel is all that impactful. So we do see Thresh looking for the cheesy level 1 here. Hook actually going to go wide. Good ward coming in. And it's actually the E-start, which I don't think is the greatest here on Milio here in this lane specifically.
Yeah, I feel like that bush cheese was really effective if he just walks up and plays, gets that empowered auto, but he tries to gamble it with the hook and it ends up going wide, so they're just going to end up having to walk out here.
And, I mean, I think the Flay is definitely the play there. You get a lot more damage, especially with that empowered auto, like you did say. But Silas actually has that level 2 trick going in, doing a big trade, a lot of damage. The Abduct does land, and Depths of Corn Hub going to take a good chunk, but it's going to be returned. But the Silas should have second wind, should be able to sustain up nice and easy with that, so should be okay.
Something I want to point out, Vi, she's looking to do a 3 camp and try and gank while the Sejuani is going for the full clear. But it looks like both mid and top are slowly pushing in, so it doesn't look like she has too many opportunities. Looking over to mid lane though.
Depths of Corn Hub very, very low here, might be taken down, but Ishan not going to commit for the kill. Has the flash, but not going to use that one.
Yep, gonna be very low here, but the wave is in a pretty good spot. Oh no!
Oh.
It's a disaster.
Oh, it's a flash for flash trade here, but Ishan lands and goes in, able to flash out to safety. As the flash burned, means that Ishan can just flash forward.
Yeah, Ishan's showing the proficiency on the champ, knows his damage perfectly, goes in with the E, gets the kill, and flashes out. And yeah, good first blood for the Silas to get the prio in this lane. If he gets some item advantage early on, then it starts to look pretty rough for the Orianna already.
And we see Asia gonna take a good chunk of damage here from Cryosthesia, as it's gonna be a pretty big trade, but the Tongue should be able to sustain it back. A nice Tongue Lash lands, and that actually means the trade goes winning here for the Tongue Kench.
Yeah, the lick even helped the trade here, and yeah, you can see a lot of battling going on in all of these lanes as they are looking to get the edge on here in the early game.
And so far, you know, it is a 100 gold lead here for the side of Nocturnal, so they are winning up this early game nice. But so far, Thesia taking a big trade against Cryothesia, but Flash is going to be burned here from Soul Wolf. A good game from Corruptor.
Yeah, I don't know how the Flash is burned. They had such good vision in the river, and they should have seen the Sejuani coming. I guess Sejuani using her flash to force out the Jinx flash, but that is really good. Bot laners on the other side both have their flashes, so they could look to make something happen on the Jinx next year.
Oh, no flash here, and the knock-up going to go wide here, but Ishan will find the stun here, but they just don't have the damage because they weren't able to commit any Vi autos because the Q did go wide.
Yeah, and just like last time, the Q does not hit. And Yone's Q's don't hit either, but yeah.
No. Ooh, good flay. Does land here. But the campfire's been placed down, and Darwin gonna go forward here, but the root does land onto the Milio. The Ignite's gonna go down as well. Flash forced away to safety as Soul Wolf gonna try and trade back here. A good amount of damage, but unfortunately Soul Wolf is gonna get chunked out here big time as well. The wave is massive.
Yeah, good chunks here as they are both low and without any...
Oh my goodness!
I don't know if
that would have been risky.
Yeah, I feel like that was just worse because he takes 2 tower shots for that. They might be looking to back off, but the Vi is also backing, not going to punish this over-aggression here.
But they should have the Cozy Campfire up very, very soon, but a beautiful little Q lands as the football goes, and Viegar or Feed will grab the kill.
Yeah, and that was a bit of an interesting hook. The Thresh was 1 HP. They had the wave in. They could have taken the reset, but going a bit too aggressive. The Milio picks up the kill. The Thresh ends up going down in the end.
And that is what you call a goal coming in from the Milio, kicking that nice little fireball towards Thresh, getting that pick.
Yeah, exactly. And slowly but surely, the Nocturnals are picking up kills here and there, but it gets a bit equalized by the Sejuani, getting that bit of a farm lead. So Nocturnals aren't running away with it just yet.
They're up a good chunk of gold, though, right? They are up 800, so they are in a good spot, right? They're winning the early game like they should. The Silas matchup is going in favor, especially with those ganks from Pandorum. Doesn't really show in the KDA, but it was a big look here for this Vi early.
Yeah, and Sejuani actually sneaking over to the pit. I don't know if they got vision of the Vi on the other side. They do see her now, so this should actually be a free dragon going over to the side of the Hounds. Early prio, the proactivity from the Sejuani on these objectives.
And it is a Hextech dragon too, so it's going to feel pretty rough. This dragon is so incredibly strong in the early game here. But the football lands once again, hook and go wide, and Darwin not going to take that much damage.
Yeah, exactly, but they got the prio that they needed, so Sejuani feels safe enough finishing up this dragon as the Vi looking to come mid again.
And the flash is not available just yet here, and Ishan could look to commit something a little bit more, but they aren't going to do so. As Pandorum actually going to get chunked a little bit here as well, so it is going to be damage for damage, but it's easy to sustain in the jungle, not so easy to sustain in lane. As Ishan goes in, doesn't land the Abduct though, but will be able to land some chain damage here, but Pandorum goes over the wall, the hook going to land onto the blue buff, and Darwin not going to commit for more.
Yeah, the Thresh not able to flay that Vi out of her Q because it would have been really rough for the Vi with no flash up if he did that. And yeah, the Vi ends up going out. The roam does not end up paying off, but these roams to the mid lane from the Vi, they're adding up. Salas, not only does he have a kill, but he's up so much CS, and the wave is in a horrible spot for this Ori.
Play lands onto Soul Wolf here. No Cozy Campfire available for Veigar or Fee just yet, because it was used to try and help leash that blue buff for Vi. I don't know about that, but, you know, they aren't punished for it.
Yeah, and Jinx is just feeling so safe in lane, even though like she gets hooked or flayed, because like if Milio especially has that campfire, she's just chilling and she can trade back. But this is a weak point of the game for them.
I mean, Milio doesn't really do all that much in lane, but they do have a good trade window with access to that Cozy Campfire. But Shockwave going to land here, but Ishan could look to counter Shockwave here. Could look for an all-in, but the Flash will find the Sombrero as Ishan will claim the kill onto the Corn Hub.
Yeah, Ishan with the Ori ult mechanics doing the sombrero, as you called it, to finish off the kill there. It looked a bit dicey there, but he's able to regen with the Kingslayer and get another kill onto Orianna. He's running away with it.
Gonna not land here, but they're going onto onto Xayah, but the call is gonna come back. It's gonna land onto both of them, but they're gonna do some decent damage. Pandorum forced to flash away here, and it's gonna be a big win for the Hounds actually. But that trade, the hook lands right onto Soul Wolf into the backline, and the feather's gonna be pulled back. Everyone gets rooted up here by the Blade Caller as Arsenal finds one, looking to grab two, and it's gonna be a double kill over to the Xayah here as Arsenal will grab another, taking down the side of the Nocturnals, and that's just a disaster so far.
Arsenal coming up huge here. We talked about it in the draft. Vi gets nullified by Xayah so hard as Xayah just smiles and presses R while the Vi goes toward her. And yeah, it's as simple as that. She gets all the feathers out and they turn with the amount of damage that she has in her. And that's 2 kills going over to the Xayah. She's winning this lane hard now.
And running towards Xayah, sorry, is the worst thing you can ever do, as she's able to get these feathers down, but a topside trade goes in favor here of Asisa.
Yeah, exactly. And Yone, the trades aren't looking just that good yet, but once he picks up some life steal, it looks like with those daggers, he should be going for the Blade of the Ruin King, hopefully. And there you go, the Vamp Scepter coming out. This trade is going to be looking a lot better once he gets back to lane.
And this Tahm Kench actually going for the Heartsteel, so all that current health damage is going to do so much work if this Blade of the Ruin King comes to fruition here. But Ishan already used the dash, the hook going to go wide, doesn't even look for the flash flay or the flay in general, as Darwin does not land the hook.
Yeah, the hook just barely missing there, and Salas does end up getting out. It was a good look, the Vi was nearby to turn, so maybe it was a good thing nothing ended up happening there.
These are going to get knocked up here by Asisa, and a lot of damage going down here. But Asisa should be able to sustain up here. But Soul Wolf taking a good chunk of damage as well. And the suppression comes in into the belly of the Tahm Kench. He goes as Cryothes are stuck on the wrong side of the map here. A lot of damage is going to go down here, but the Fate Shield not going to be popped.
Yeah, and he burns the ultimate. Yone still has his. And he's going to be able to slowly lifesteal back up if he ends up staying. And this might look a bit dicey here for the Tahm because he is pretty low too. So we'll see if either of the junglers want to come pay some attention to this, because I hate that the Vi is going back bot here. You know, you have a Yone who you can just press R on and it should be really easy to secure that kill. There are no wards there, but it's just not going to end up happening as the Vi goes back to farming.
And Yone doesn't really have a, hey, I can ulti out button completely free because the Vi will follow. So Cryothes will get hugely CC'd here, but gonna use that Soul Unbound to just farm this wave nice and easy as Caesar just has to be forced to wait here. But Pandorum go in here, and the ultimate gonna go wide, but cease and desist comes through as the orders are down. They're trying to find it, but a nice ultimate coming through the Shockwave, buys some space here. But Soul Wolf finds the snipe with the Super Mega Death Rocket. Reminds me of Arcane.
Yeah, season 1 ending as Sejuani takes the lethal blow. Jinx picks up a much-needed kill for herself as the Sejuani went up a bit too much and does end up getting punished here.
And it's a big punish, right? Sejuani just walked in, thought nothing was going to happen, but collapsed by the Vi, and Ishan looked really, really strong, and Soul Wolf just said, hey, I'm going to toss a little rocket out there, and able to collect on the kill.
Yeah, and this Silas is just so strong right now.
Dash forward.
Thresh is here.
Thresh here, has the mobility boost, moving at the speed of sound so far, and Ashawn, the flay's actually going to go short, and the hook is going to land here, but should have the cooldowns back up, should be able to get out to safety, nice and easy, lemon squeezy, but no, Ashawn's looking to turn it around, trying to find the damage here, forced to flash away from the box, as Ashawn trying to find something here, the flay's going to land as well, but it doesn't matter, they just don't have the damage, and Darwin taking so much damage from the Kingslayer, and forward goes Ashawn, but cannot find the abducted, lands onto a minion, but forward the Kingslayer lands, but cannot commit regicide, as they aren't able to find anything, but Aziza so low as well. Carlesia trying to find the kill. Can they convert? The Q Flash will find it, as a Tempered Steel will find the kill, but Darwin uses the stopwatch. Shockwave is not going to be picked up. Can he find an ultimate? Can he find some kills? They're so incredibly low. Hook is going to land, but Cornhub can't really do much. But Mega Death Rocket finds two from downtown. Jinx is online, baby.
Soul Wolf with a beautiful ultimate, as Silas he's just 1v2ing casually. They don't have any healing reduction there. And yeah, he sets up Jinx for the double kill there, and Ori ends up losing that full wave again, as her TP is not back up, and that was just huge for the side of Nocturnals. This Jinx, she's going back. She picked up a Kraken Slayer. She's got some boots. She's chilling now. She's just getting some kills out of lane. Easy as that.
That is exactly what you did want to see as the Hounds. You're like, yes, we're winning lane, free. This game is looking amazing. And you see the Rocket of Doom fly past your lane, and it's just pure sadness. As Arsenal has been having a great time in lane, up a lot of farm, up 30 CS. Having a great game, picked up 2 kills, turning a great gank, but that's the power of Jinx. She just has a global ultimate, and she just say, I'm going to throw this somewhere and hope it lands. And that's exactly what happened.
Yeah, and the AoE actually helps her pick up too, so Zaya is just extra sad about that. And yeah, the scaling is well on their way. I'm not sure if Milio ended up picking the assist there, because he does have 2 assists as well. So maybe, just maybe, he used a campfire or something. Solid's going in again.
Ron's going in. Will not
Oh
land
my
the Superior
God,
this
man.
time, as it's going to go wide, as Cornup is just trading back here, but doesn't really have all that much damage in the back pocket just yet. But Darwin taking so much damage here. The Cozy Campfire doing a lot of work, but in goes Vi. They find the stun, they find the damage, as Sean will grab the kill.
And there you go. The mid gank is so much better as...
Oh, hook.
You really hooking
wait,
it?
you
He's
hook
going
that?
in?
And he's going to go down as well, but Solwolf looking to find something that's Carlesia will grab the kill, but Arsenal forced to use that ultimate to try and buy some space, buy some time. And the Feathers do land, find some damage here, but Solwolf should just try and run, should just try and push this next wave here.
Yeah, the Thresh looking for hooks at 1 HP is just not it. And he ends up going down again. That's 4 deaths on him now. As Jinx, she picks up another kill. Zaya's got it back, so she's going to pick up another tower maybe, as these plates actually end up going down. You can see how fast that turret's going down now.
Yeah, and that's just the power of Jinx, right? She's going to be able to shred these towers nice and quick and easy. As the Thresh and Zaya are just forced to walk back to lane, the walk of shame, as the tower's going to go down and they can't even trade back because the Jinx is excited.
Yeah, and now they're in such a good position. The Jinx and Milio will be online very soon, as Jinx is sitting on a lot of gold here. She should be able to pick up the BF sword as she goes home. And yeah, for this next dragon, where I think an explosive teamfight should happen, Jinx is looking to be in a very good position there.
She's basing, gonna grab those Zerker Greaves, and has a little bit of gold left in the back pocket. Gonna decide what to buy in just a second here.
Yeah, and the Hound's on the other side, picking up the Herald here, uncontested. The Yone has the Prio in the top lane. He's 2-0 right now. He's finished up the board. And it's getting a
Darwin.
bit rough for the top end. The play lands, the hook
The
lands.
play lands. The hook lands. They're
Doesn't mean
looking for a little bit
anything.
more, but doesn't mean anything. You said it doesn't, and so far it's looking like it means absolutely nothing, as the Silas could just use the Kingslayer and get all the hell HP back. But again, this Tom Kench really kind of struggling here so far in this lane. I think it's mostly just to do with build path, right? You build a Warden's Mail, build a Bramble Vest, you build Steel Caps, and you are never dying. But
Exactly, the Harsh Steel is so greedy here, as these trades become more impossible as you go on. Especially the Thorn Mail, sorry, not the Thorn Mail, the Bramble Vest, to cut down on that healing during the trades. Because you know that's how Yone is going to get ahead in these constant trading. But yeah, the Harsh Steel is just more health
Too
for the
greedy.
pork to cut down.
way too greedy. You need resistances to deal with a champion like Yone. And most of his damage comes from those auto attacks, right? And those Qs now also count towards auto attacks because of the recent changes to steel caps, right? Which should have been the case from the beginning, but, you know, Riot's bandy code, Tech W, whatever. So that got changed recently. So again, I just think into a champion like Yone, you just rush steel caps in your great spot. But the flash forward, they land the football as Darwin should go down very easily, and a death rocket lands again as Zaya forced to use that ultimate. But it's very, very far forward here. The pullback lands, but only onto Milio, as not much is going to come off of that one, and the flash is going to stay. Not going to burn that one.
Yeah, the Thresh gets engaged upon. They're using everything in their power to get prio of this dragon that's coming up soon. And Yone, it's this lane is just looking so easy for him. The Tom Catch
Oh, they're
cannot win
looking.
that.
Corn Hub should just go down here. There comes the cease and desist. They're looking to find once more the depths of Corn Hub as the corn goes down. Just looking like the dead corn in the cornfield.
Yeah, and this Orianna, she's 0-5 now. She's not having a good time as Ishan is taken
Oh
over
no,
the blade without
Soul
the
Wolf.
fly.
And the flash forward. The ultimate actually going to go wide as Soul Wolf does not have the flash anymore. You get out of that one as Karthesha should just be able to grab the shutdown. 800 gold to Yone.
Yeah, this Yone is a monster right now, picking up the shutdown on the, I believe that's a 500 gold shutdown on the Jinx, and suddenly
That's
they
like
can
before
contest
Dragon.
this dragon. The Jinx is dead.
Yeah, and they're all basing right. Veigar going to use that little football to get themselves out to safety, but the Skelecrop's going to go down, and they should just be a free dragon, right? They shouldn't be able to contest this one here, but Silas has shown up. Ishan is very, very strong as well. 2 items to the name.
Yeah, but Xayah is very split right now. If Fly starts
He
an
should go
engage,
now.
Xayah's not here
They're
yet.
going to go. Saya's there now. It's a little late, but they're trying to buy time for Jinx to get back. Again, death timers aren't that long, so Jinx is actually going to be here very, very shortly, and it's Cloud Rift, so she'll be able to walk through this cloud, a little bit of smooth speed ground, and get there. And there's nothing going to be happening so far.
Yeah, and the Jinx is back now. She's got an extra BF sword on the Xayah here, and okay, look to go in.
Tom Kench looking to go in here onto Corner here. Most likely just looking to try and cancel the TP. The Heart's just going to find one proc here. The Tongue Lash going to go wide, but the Sombrero is going to land. But flash forward. The Tongue is there. One more auto should guarantee the eat, but they can't do it. Lick, eat, no! Does not know the combo as the teleport coming in. Into the backside as Pandorum going to try and find something. A beautiful Fate Seal from the Yone will find 3, but it's going to be Pandorum who goes down first as Ishan trying to find the damage, but Corruptor doing a lot of work here onto Veigar as the shutdown comes through. Solo finds it, has the reset, should be able to grab Darwin as well. They're going to take down the Big Piggy as one more falls. That's going to be 3 for the side, 3 for 2 in total as Depths of Corner will find Aesthesia on the top side.
Yeah, the Jinx and Yone were facing off on the side, and the Jinx kills Yone by just a little bit. And once Jinx is excited, the team fight is basically over. So the Nocturnals end up picking up the dragon, but the Orianna, she does end up picking up the kill on the Tahm Kench and getting the tower. So wins for both teams, kind of.
So it was actually a big mechanical error from the Tahm Kench that actually cost that 1v1 because it was winning for Tahm Kench. If he lands the Q, which gets the stun, he can eat, and as long as he presses eat as he Qs, which he didn't do, so he actually wasn't able to eat the Orianna and was not able to win the 1v1.
Exactly, yeah, the proficiency of the champion is not quite there as the Tahm Kench is now 0-3. And his next item, I thought that cloth armor was going to build into a bramble vest, but it becomes a balmy cinder. Again, like, the build path isn't looking the best for
so
him
greedy.
as, like, yeah, it's going to be really hard for him to lane against this Yone. Like, stop giving him more health for the Bork to strike, please.
Resistance is still your best friend here. Against Blade of the Rune King, its biggest counter is armor.
Yeah, the steel caps are a good way. Maybe he can somehow hear us and build a bramble. Even the Warden's Mail cutting down on the attack speed, which increases the cooldowns onto the Yone too. They're just so much value, but it doesn't end up happening.
Okay, he's going into Caesar, trying to find something here. Will find the eat this time here. The Heartstone proc is nice and raring to go. They'll be able to find that vulnerable stack here, but the Sombrero is going to land from Corn Hub here, but the stacks from Tahm Kench are almost available. One more auto, and this Tongue Lash will find us. Corruptor going to send out that little ultimate. Not going to find much with that Bola.
Yeah, this all-in was a lot better, as this time he lands the knockup, he gets his ult down, and just bursts down the Orianna before the jungler gets there. And yeah, in this matchup against the Orianna, the Heartsteel and Balmy Cinder do end up helping out. So I hope that Cryo, he recognizes this, goes back into that winning matchup, instead of trying to go into someone like the Silas, and tries to assert his dominance again.
And this is the most hyper damage build you can go on Yone. Blade of the Rune King straight into Infinity Edge, right? You have the same amount of attack speed as Shield Bow, but you have more on-hit damage plus an Infinity Edge as well, second item. So I really think if you're going for max damage, this is the build, but they're looking to try and take him down. Nice and easy. The CC's there, the knockups. He can't escape. He can't get out to safety. Fate Sealed. They both anime opening land something, but Ishan will find the kill with the King Slayer.
Yeah, Silas taking down the king again. Follows the Yone ult, uses
Oh,
the flash
Pandorum.
to kill.
Maybe in a little bit of trouble here. Hook gonna land only at the Pandorum. Sean is the target you're looking for, but into the back line. Jinx actually shoots Super Mega Death Rocket. Doesn't mind anything as Corruptor taking so much damage in the front line. Should go down. Should make the Jinx quite excited as she goes forward, trying to take down Darwin. Forced to flash over the wall, but Sean cannot find the abduct as Darwin's able to get out to safety.
Yeah, and Tom Kent misses the knockup, backs up again. But yeah, Nocturnal's going huge, looking for picks in this jungle as the Hounds are just not respecting the lack of vision control that they have. And yeah, this Jinx is so fed now. This Silas is so fed now. The gold is in the right place as they are turning their eyes to the Baron.
And it should just be free, right? Jungler is dead for another 10 seconds, and it's going to take a little bit to walk there, but they don't have the damage on it just yet. Now Jinx has arrived.
Yeah, Jinx is here. It should go
It's
down.
on vision.
They're nearby, but I don't know how they're going to contest it that easily.
4K. Darwin taking a lot of damage here. They're looking to try and turn it here. Actually, Sean trying to go forward. Cannot find anything, but Darwin going to go down nice and easy. Lemon squeeze. The auto should find it. And they hit the reset onto the Jinx. They go forward. They're looking for a little bit more, but Milia goes down. Their support is down. And Soulwolf is still alive, though. The big carry is up and alive. Depths of Pornhub has the flash. Is trying to get out to safety. No, it's not up yet. And they're going to try and find the knockup. They're going, but Ishan cannot find another abduct. But Corruptor walked into their death, forced to walk away, though. But they should just be a Baron. They lost their support, but they traded it for 2.
Yeah, the Silas E, the Vyq, the knockup, everything going wide as Orianna with the fancy feet somehow gets away from them and lives. And the Baron actually doesn't end up being taken down. So it's actually not that bad for the Hounds there. They are able to stop the Baron take. I feel like that was just a big mistake. You could just finish the Baron and there's not much that the other team could have done about it.
Wait. He's just going to go back to his soul.
Yeah.
That was a very, very unnecessary eat.
Yeah, he's chilling. He's gonna maybe lifesteal up off the Grop and just come back to late here. It's interesting that the ult was burnt there. But yeah, Tom Kent thought he got a good trade in. Did he even get the Heartsteel proc there?
He did not.
He did not. And yeah, that's a miss.
But he is doing some decent damage, though, right? HP means his Tongue Lash does a little bit more work, because it applies a stack of the little feast there. But Sean, oh my goodness, Soul just running for it, right? The Moby's not going to do much as you're running away, as Arsenal got hooked right into, or got lanterned right into the Chompers.
Yeah, but luckily it was only the Jinx there, so they do end up backing off. The Dragon's gonna be up in 20 seconds, so their heads in the
Oh my
right
goodness,
place.
wait, Darwin
Fresh.
should just go down. One more auto. They don't have the burst. Super Mega Death Rocket not going to land onto anyone important, as that big cooldown is down here for this Dragon. Teleport coming in from the
He's
Sisa.
essentially not going to be a part of the fight. The only thing he can offer is like a lantern for the Xayah from behind. But they're looking to just not contest and go for this mid lane turret here.
They should be able to get it, but it's going to be a little risky as Asisa goes forward here, looking to try and grab Arsenal up here. They're going to force the ultimate Glacial Prison, lands onto 1. The pullback only lands onto the tanks, but Jinx is still untouched. Soulwolf is trying to run for the hills, but no, gets pulled back by the Shockwave. A beautiful pullback here from depths of Cornhub as they're going to find their second of the game.
Yeah, both the dives find their target as both ADCs end up going down. The Xayah, she doesn't hold the ultimate, right? She has to ult the other engages, and the Vi waits it out. I believe that Tom Kent went in first to burn the Xayah ult, and then the Vi ult after secures the kill on the Xayah. So if they're able to pair their engage together, it does end up working out, and the Xayah goes down.
And they're just chilling. They should be able to grab this Dragon. They have stronger members available on the map right now, right? Ishan is so unbelievably strong here. And the football going to land onto Darwin. He's going to take a good chunk of damage there from the Silas. Just entering this fight. He's just arrived back and already half HP. But in goes a Seaside into the middle of 4. Can he survive? Fate Seal lands onto 1. They're going to try and burst out Darwin. Can they do so? They just don't have the damage, but they're looking for Cryo. But Assault and Battery onto the backside. They're trying to find Cornhub, but they cannot do so. They just can't convert on kills yet as Corruptor goes down at the same time. Into the belly of the beast goes Corruptor as Corruptor goes down too, and Depths of Cornhub trying to dodge away from his Sean, but the move speed, the fancy feet are there. The root is going to land. The Feather Collar is doing a lot of work here as Arsenal just running for the hills. And Ashawn just going to zone away everyone as this Dragon goes down in favor of the Nocturnals.
Yeah, the second Dragon picked up for the side of the Nocturnals as they had a beautiful scrap in the jungle. This shows the tankiness of that Tom Kent. He just does not go down easily as the other members, they follow up because everyone's trying to kill this Tom Kent. Everyone's grouped up in that little corridor. So Vi going in with the Assault and Battery, the Yone ult. Oh, sorry, that was from the other side. But yeah, Silas going in as well. It was just a beautiful combo there by the Nocturnals. And this, are they going to try and fight the Baron again?
Carthesia trying to do something here, looking to just take out Milio, who goes down easily. but they grab the support, but they're just committing onto the Baron. They're trying to find something. Arsenal doesn't really have any setup here. Can't really get those feathers down, as this Baron should go down, but they really don't have a clear exit path. The Solo actually just autoing. Arsenal taking so much damage, forcing the ulti out. That's a big death rocket lands, but it's just not enough damage. As Ashan gonna get caught out by the root, but can't really do much. Oh, he goes over the wall. But this may just be a death sentence here as Ashan trying to get out to safety, but right into the waiting hands of Thresh as Cryothesia will grab the shutdown.
Yeah, they were just not on the same page there. We see the Silas continuously being aggressive this entire game, and he finally gets punished as the whole team's there. They lock him down and get the shutdown onto him. I believe that goes on to the Yone. 700 gold onto such a scaling character like the Yone. That is really big there for them.
Great
And did he
pick up
just buy
there.
the Magi's, or did he buy it and then die?
I hope not.
Might have been the Magi's curse there.
Always the Magi's Curse, and the Jinx actually going through a Rapid Fire Cannon. I don't really like that, but I also don't like Azaya's build. She went BT second. So,
Yeah.
it's just a series of unfortunate events here for both AD carries.
Yeah, not the best damage coming out, but luckily I think there's a lot of damage on both teams either way. Didn't end up mattering too much, but yeah, like I feel like that Tom Kench, it's gonna be a lot more harder to kill him specifically. I feel like it's worse for the Zaya to go the
Oh, it's
BT
definitely
there.
worse for Zaya. No Navori, no Lord Toms. I think actually choosing like the worst item option she could have, going second here. So quite unfortunate there.
Yeah,
Getting a nice
honestly,
lead.
like when it comes to that next team fight, I feel like this Tom is just not gonna die. I feel like there's so much armor and
Oh my
health
goodness,
on it.
Arsenal!
Oh my god.
And that's
the
just the
ult
Milio
goes
amp
wide.
coming through. It just does so much damage. Currently.
Yeah, Milio campfire with the Jinx rockets, it almost just ends up killing them. Zaya's barely able to dodge out on the Jinx ultimate, so she does live, but that means no one's there to go for this tower anymore. Oh, they're looking for a death bush.
Milio passive is now adding 28% AD to Jinx's autos.
That seems really fair.
Corruptor. Ooh, a good flash coming in from Veigar or feed, but a good ultimate, good look here. But Asisa goes into the backline here, trying to find some damage. He's actually getting taken down quite quickly here. Fate Seal only lands onto one, and it's onto the tank. But a beautiful pullback coming in from the Zaya. So much damage. Veigar goes down first here, and gonna eat up this Pandorum here. He's trying to get onto the backline here, trying to find one, but another Fate Seal on the backline finds three as well. Darwin will grab Pandorum, but Ishan is still reigning free. Shutdown goes over, and it's just a winning team fight, and Jinx is reset. She's fast, she's furious, and she's gonna grab a couple more kills, as it's gonna be one more triple kill looking for the Quadra here, as Corn Hub is gonna go down, and no Penta for the Jinx, but there should just be a couple more towers.
Soulwolf with the Quadra kill there. It was a fiesta of damage. Both teams just going at it. But the Jinx, she has the passive. She gets excited after the first kill, and the fight is just over there as that base ends up being cracked for the side of Nocturnal.
They don't really have a... They do have a wave now. They actually might be able to end something, right? Their biggest threat is coming up in 20 seconds. 15 seconds on the Zaya, though. They're trying.
Be able to get one tower.
If they can get
I
one
don't know
tower,
if
they might be able to get
can.
excited.
That's true. It will be really close
It's gonna be tight.
here.
They're trying.
Do that much. The Sejuani's finally here.
They're trying.
They're going for it.
They're going for the end here, but the
I don't
attack
think
speed
they
isn't
can.
there, and it's just going to be a big, big bounty going to be collected here. And it's going to be given to Sejuani!
No.
As Asisa going to flash out to safety, but going to be taken down by the Glacial Prison, going to go down nice and easy. Lemon squeezy as the shutdown goes over to the Zaya.
I guess they were a bit too scared they were going to end, but I believe they had more than enough time to get it onto a carry. That was a 500 gold going down, going to Sejuani, but at least Zaya picks up the Tom Kent shutdown, right? But what this does mean is that the top laner and the ADC are dead with the dragon spawning. So if they're able to get onto the dragon, maybe force a fight before they're up, maybe, just maybe, they can win that fight, which they've been unable to do so far.
They need to try and force something here, right? They're in a little bit of a rough position. They're down 5
Looks like
or
it,
almost
though.
6k gold here.
Yeah, Yone's just farming top. They're not going into this dragon. You can see the number of wards that the side of Nocturnals have into the river compared to the Hounds, right? This map is dark. The river is dark for the side of Hounds, so it's hard to look for that pick that they have been like the win condition in these team fights for them so far.
And Jinx has a stopwatch here for this next fight, right? That's really, really
Huge.
massive. Right? She can just dodge away from one single bit of CC. She'll be allowed to pop off here, and this stopwatch is going to provide huge dividends here. And Darwin taking a big chunk of damage from a singular auto.
Yeah, and Yone's still top.
Oh! Asisa
going
goes
in.
in! TP going to be used here, but they're looking to try and just eat out Orianna, take her down as fast as possible here. Can't find a kill. Looking for a little bit more, though, as Aziza so unbelievably tanky. Fate Sealed lands onto 2, but the stopwatch is going to buy time. Milio goes down immediately, though. Not able to get that ultimate off, but the feathers land true, but they're trying to find the damage. A beautiful shockwave lands onto 3, but the ADCs are down. They're trying to find something here. Arsenal is still in this fight. We'll be able to join back up here. It's a triple kill for the Yone. They find so much damage here, but look at the base. Karthik, look at the base.
Yeah, Cryesthesia goes big. I believe Xayah is going to be able to back in time, but Yone going huge with his ultimate there. The Fate Seal, I believe, catches 4 of them as the Jinx, even with the stopwatch, she ends up going down. It's a huge win for the side of the Hounds. They're going to be end up clearing all these super minions. The base lives on to die another day. And yeah, they finally win that team fight that we were talking about.
And I think it's just Asisa not there to ult the Jinx, right? No Tom Kench eat on your carry. That's a massive, massive throw.
Yeah, that value of the Tom Kench was just not utilized there, as he was more focused on engaging rather than peeling. As their big carry goes down, and Silas, he didn't have the damage to stay alive either. He ends up going down, and once those two were down, it was only a matter of time before the other health parts was chewed through.
Baron gonna be up here in 7 seconds, and everyone's joining the map. Everyone's back up and ready to go, but the side of the Nocturnals has more flashes.
Yeah, the Nexus is so low. We'll see if any backdoor potential goes in, but Orianna is guarding against it. Ooh, he's looking for something. Yeah, he loves to engage in these fights. We'll see if it ends up being punished or rewarded in the next minute.
Oh, wait, Arsenal. Oh my goodness, taking so much damage here. One more auto will do it. Shockwave gonna go wide here. Not gonna land through Mega Death Rocket, but Asisa just walking forward here into 3. But very, very tanky, getting shredded though, taking so much damage. Is trying to stay alive for a little bit longer, but gonna find the Fate Shield onto 2 as well. Karthisia should just be taken down. Those shields are there and unstoppable, but the auto from downtown will find the kill as Darwin's gonna go down next. And Asisa is taking down the big pig on the front line. That's just gonna be a big, big pickup. The Hounds don't have their AD carry or their mage with them. They only had the Yone, and the Yone couldn't find the assassination attempt.
Yeah, the Xayah and Orianna were mid. Yone ults, but doesn't even find the Jinx with it, and it was just poor execution for the side of Hound.
Oh no, the season assist lands there. The exhaust is going to go down, and they're trying to find something here. Death of Corner going to go down first. Soul Wolf will find one, and is excited, looking to try and pad the damage a little bit as it's a double kill. The Soul Wolf and Milio is just too strong. Call him Messi, as the Nocturnals will take game number 2.
Nocturnals taking the upset win here over the Hounds, as they were playing these team fights so well. Bit of a little hiccup in that last dragon fight, but their front to back was so good, as yeah, they're trying to fight without Orianna Orianna Xayah. There's no chance they were gonna win it, as yeah, an upset win here. We saw the Nocturnals, they wanted to prove their mettle, prove their strength, and it finally happens as they take down the best team in the league.
And they looked incredible doing it, right? They did so much work, right? They had a little bit of a blunder there in the bot side. Gave a couple kills over to the Xayah, but it didn't matter because the Globals came in clutch.
Yeah, and on the side of the Hounds, the Yone tried his best. I think he really played so well. He got the most damage in the game, but it just wasn't enough, as the ADC and the mid on the side of the Nocturnals, I believe it was Soul Wolf and Ishan, they popped off in those team fights and they played well. And yeah, the Milio diff, you have a Xayah and Jinx, both are good late game carries, but in the end, one of them has a Milio backing them up, which was like 30% extra AD by the end of the game. And yeah, the Jinx, 1 kill was all she needed. She would pop off and just end the team fight.
I mean, Milio OP, I guess. I don't know what to say.
Yeah, I hope everyone's watching this stream. You gotta pick up that chant more. It is free wins at this point.
It is free wins. It's good with Varus, it's good with Lucian, it's good with Jinx, it's good with Xayah, it's good with Caitlyn. Need I say more? It is good with almost it's good with Draven too.
Yeah, exactly. And Nocturnals, they realized it. They pick up the Milio and they pick up this huge win for them in week 4. Congrats to them.
And you said it might have been first time Milio, right? And it
doesn't matter, man.
It doesn't matter. The champion is so unbelievably broken. But with that, we'll head over to a quick break as we get things rolling here for the 3rd and final game of the night. We'll be right back.
I'll show you what I'm made of. Rise to the occasion. Got fears for no face. I'll show you. A heart full of fire. Looking in the fire. I'll show you what I'm made of. What I'm made of. Yeah. I'll show I'm alone, only know myself no more. Take it to the grave, I'll ghost. I know I can be so cold.
Alrighty, everyone. Welcome back. And I think we're rolling very, very shortly here as draft is just about started here for both sides. It's going to be Maokai taken off the table by the Hornets and Akali for the Spartans, but Silas is off as well. We saw Silas have a huge impact last game, and same with the Jinx, too.
Yeah, they're definitely watching that stream as they ban out those power picks, as well as the Maokai, who is an S tier jungler right now, and also the Kali. That just means Metro Dragneel's on the other team, so you gotta get
Crazy.
the Ninja out.
I mean, Metro is known for the Akali, so that one's taken off the table. It's actually going to get Kane as well. We saw Kane in game one, didn't look very good, but maybe this will show us why Kane should be banned. I don't know. We'll figure out what's going on here with the last ban coming in for phase one. It's going to be the Anivia, so that's just a pocket pick taken off the table, not really a great meta pick.
Yeah, Kane and Anivia are both really comfortable champions for the respective sides, so they are taken off the bat here. And yeah, we're gonna see what ends up coming out. Certain character starting with M is still left up, so we'll see if that
Mhm.
ends up getting picked up here.
The forbidden one.
Oh
It's actually
no,
going to be the monkey
wasn't
locked
Melio,
in
it's
here.
Monkey.
Monkey, true. We'll see what the Spartans want to grab up here with their next little pickups here because they do have access to the Milio, and it's going to be the Zaya locked in here, and that's pretty decent against the Wukong, right? But there's still someone left on the table, gamers.
Yeah, Zaya and Wukong are both power picks, and Zyra Khan, that's a
Uh-huh.
premier lane in this meta. So, really strong bot lane being taken away, while Wukong, one of the few S tier junglers still left up as the Maokai was banned. And I don't want to see another Vi pick here, folks. You know what the Zaya can do to it. So, hopefully
Hmm.
they. Or I guess that it would be the other team picking it up. So, Vi is still left up on the board here. We'll see if Zeri, okay, Milio, maybe?
Zeri
Nope.
Yumi is
Oh, no,
fine.
it's the cat. Yeah. That's
Uh,
okay.
it's okay. Like, Milio doesn't have great synergy with Zeri. That's the one issue that he has. His synergy with Zeri isn't really there because she doesn't really benefit from the range increase.
Yeah, the Yumi is a good pick. We've seen all the Zeri pentas. There's sometimes a cat on her back, as it's a very good pairing. And yeah, it is pretty punishable by the Zyra Khan lane, though. And the Poppy being picked up, trying to stop these dashes from the Monkey and the Zeri.
Hmm. And I mean, Poppy's known as a pretty not soft counter, but a theoretical counter to the Yumi because if Yumi ever helps off, Steadfast present, and she is grounded, she cannot join onto someone. She can't attach without waiting her full cooldown. But it's gonna be the Cho'Gath banned away by the Spartans here going into phase two, and it's most likely just gonna be solo lane bans. As it is only gonna be solo lane bans, as bot lanes and jungle have both been locked in. It's gonna be a Yone taken off the table as well.
Yeah, some notable picks. The Silas that Just likes to play is still left up, and yeah, we'll see if that ends up being banned out or being taken away. Oh, sorry, it was actually banned out. So yeah, the
Hmm.
Yone was the next highest played, so that's gonna be taken off. He also plays some mages like the Rise and the Syndra that are still left up, so gonna see if either of those will be banned or picked. But yeah, Lissandra being banned away here may open up like or the Asol over there, another strong pick. So maybe looking to pick up a mage here.
Hmm. And a mage is a pretty solid pickup, right? Zaya is relatively short range. She doesn't really want to be running into things, so a good solid control mage is going to feel pretty good here for the side of the Hornets if they can get themselves some hands on anything along those lines, right? So realistically, the champions that are left up on the table for mid lane, I think Annie is still good. Ari's still pretty solid as well. But it's gonna be the Kled, another soul laner taken off the table here for against the Spartans. So we'll see what options are gonna be grabbed here by the Spartans. What do they want? Do they want a mid lane or do they want a top lane blind?
Yeah, and we always see the R4 Victor coming out, just a safe mid blind pick, so we'll see if that comes out
Mm-hmm.
again. But yeah, the Hornets, they banned out two aggressive top laners, so that may indicate that they want to try and go for a chill tank top lane to survive. And oh,
Oh,
Cassante, we love that
look,
pick coming out.
looking to star walk all over the enemy team here. As we'll see what the next pickup here is by. I mean, there are a couple counters left up on the table here against the Cassante, right? You have that the special tech from Someday, the Garen. You
Mhm.
also have the Olaf as well. Gwyneth is up and roundabout as well here. So it's going to be the Lissandra here, hovered by the Hornets for that blind mid. Has a great amount of CC, good, just good all in. Doesn't really do all that much damage, mind you, but still has presence, and those zombies do a lot of work.
Yeah, with the Lissandra pick coming, the Cassante probably going top lane. We've seen it flex mid a lot, especially in pro play. But with the Lissandra, Cassante doesn't really like that. But he should be better in that long top lane matchup, as we should see what their top laner will be in a couple seconds here.
Mm-hmm. Like the general counters are
Oh,
available. Oh,
got
is
Jarvan
that
top
a?
or Wukong top?
It might be a Wukong, right? The armor shred actually does affect Cassante quite a bit, right? Because his damage scales directly off resistances, and if you remove those resistances, he's actually it might actually affect him quite greatly here.
Yeah, Metro, he's been playing Wukong for years now. It's been one of his signature champions, so we'll see if that's the one that ends up going top. And there's a Jarvan jungler, but oh, the Pantheon mid. I would love to see that locked in. But
Oh,
no, Annie, even
well,
better.
that was left up, yeah. So Annie makes sense. Does a lot of damage. Very good at just one-shotting literally every champion in the game, apart from Uber tanks.
Yeah, but
So
how much value does it really get in this game against like a Lissandra, Jarvan, Wukong? It's really only the
yeah, be worried
Zeri
about
that you
Flash.
have to lock down. But
Mm-hmm.
yeah, that's going to be the prime target that Annie's going to look for.
And realistically, it's a very low damage composition from the Hornets, right? They have or they have solid damage from the Jarvan Wukong, but their managed damage from the Lissandra is very, very low. So the Cassante can just itemize full armor and shouldn't really have to worry too much as the game does go on and on.
Yeah, I completely agree. As like the Spartans draft is looking pretty good so far, as they have a really good front to back, but also have the engage at the same time. And they saw the Poppy on the other team, but they still picked the Jarvan. It is the
Mm-hmm.
most telegraphed engage that you can stop. You see the E come out, you just press W in front. It's as simple as that. He can't dash in any other direction, right? So
Mm-hmm.
you got the Jarvan stop, the Zeri dash, the Yumi stop, and the Wukong stop. This Poppy gets so much value with her W. And yeah, it's just a great pick here.
Not even just the Poppy alone, right? Look at the Zaya playing into three champions that have to go in, right?
Mhm.
Jarvan, Lissandra, Wukong, they all have to go forward. And Zaya loves to play disengage. She loves using that Featherstorm to just buy a lot of space and disrupt the back or just disrupt the front line with her feathers just placed around and about here.
Yeah, the first few picks from the Hornets were looking good, but they didn't have the best read as they picked up two engage slash dive champions into Zaya, which I really do not like. And yeah, I think it really weakened their draft here as the Spartans are looking much better in their champs picked up.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I mean, overall, just because of the identity of the Spartans draft, they actually stuck really well to what they wanted to do, right? Casante functions really well as a sort of warden if you don't want him flanking, and I think that's completely fine, right? And Annie is a low mobility, right? So she doesn't need to use her tools to go in. She can really use her tools as a deterrent for the side of the Hornets, right? She can just look to use her ultimate, use her WAOE when they all collapse in and try and collapse onto the Zaya or the Annie, right?
Yeah, she has the burst to literally just kill Jarvan if he tries to go in. Simple as that,
Mm-hmm.
right? And we've seen Jarvins try and go like just like things like stopwatch and stuff like that because that champ is not tanky enough to actually live in these fights like something like a Sejuani or something like that would, right? So it's
Mm-hmm.
very easy for Jarvan to just get one shot as he tries to go in, and yeah, like Annie is just such a good pickup here, and Zaya is just so good into that team too.
There's just a lot of hazards, right? You have the Zaya feathers, you have the Cassante looking to Star Walk, and you have the Annie and Poppy, right? It's just so hard to walk forward. And the Hornets composition is built to only do one thing, and that's walk forward. So we'll see if they're able to find these angles to just try and dive the backline before they can get their tools down on the ground. But the Spartans overall, they stuck with their identity and they rolled with it.
Yeah, and it's gonna come down to, I think, whether the Zeri is gonna be able to kite out the front line of this composition. But the Poppy, she has the movement speed, the quickness from the Rakan, and Cassante when he goes all out is surprisingly mobile. As a carry, it is
Mm-hmm.
very hard to deal with him. So, in my opinion, the Zeri is not quite gonna be able to have the same level of impact as you usually see in her pop-off games.
Usually just, or Cassandra usually just one shots you anyways, so
Yeah.
always fun when he goes all out. Again, you said great mobility, and he's able to dash around, has two dashes in the kit, one a low cooldown, one that gives him almost 80% damage reduction. So it's a super strong ability, super strong champion in general. But we'll see if the Zerayumi, because realistically, the Hornets are relying solely on their Zerayumi to try and carry this game out.
Yeah, the Zeriumi, in my opinion, have to get ahead early. I think it should be the Jarvan jungle here based on who's been hovering what, which
Mm-hmm.
means they have insane gank potential early, right? So Jarvan is one of those characters. He can do a really cheese level 2 gank that works super well, right? So I want to see him going for a gank after one or even like three camps with the level 3 and try and make an impact onto this bot lane, try and get that Zeri ahead because if she's not ahead of the Zaya and can just match her damage or just beat it, then it'll be
Mm.
really hard for her to play the game.
We've seen a lot of one damage threat comps usually fare quite horribly as the game does go later and later. Because if you're relying on one person to do everything, you don't really have any fallbacks. You need this area to be ahead, and you said you want Jarvan to just be focusing on that bot side quite heavily, and I agree with you. But I just think it's so difficult. But
Yeah,
I have to give
and
this draft win to the Spartans.
oh yeah, easily. I think Spartans have a really good draft coming out here, and yeah, usually those one draft comps only succeed if the enemy doesn't have good engage, right? But not only
Mm-hmm.
engage, Poppy can just yeet her out of the fight, and Jarvan and Wukong and Lissandra, they go in, they can't come back out like a LeBlanc or anything like that, right?
Mm-hmm. They
So
have to commit.
even just getting the Poppy ult or just locking down the Zeri with the Rakan, Annie, there's just so much CC on the side of Spartans. They've pulled out a really good draft here, and it's just really easy to execute as well.
Realistically, it's just make it to 6. Make sure the
Yeah,
Zaya can, go even until she has her, just her feather storm to just buy time. That's all she needs to do, buy time so she can get feathers down. And then because the Hornets have to walk forward, they're just going to get shredded.
yeah, and like I think in terms of win conditions for the Hornets, they have to try and get those early ganks. Like I was saying, we talked
Mm-hmm.
about how like the Lissandra does have that engage ability as well. Like she can really easily push out the wave, and I want to see her trying to go into those side lanes, specifically the Zaya Rakan, and they got to try and get some dive going, right? Even though Zaya can
Right.
go invulnerable, her ult doesn't let her surpass the Jarvan ulti, so he still can trap her and they gotta try and get some kills on her, get some kills onto the Zeri like 10 minutes into the game.
Mm-hmm. And with that, we're going to head over to a quick break here as we get things rolling for the last game of the night. We'll be right back in just a little bit.
There's no time for redemption. Those flags you wave, will they hold up? Don't cry for your vengeance. judgment. Here's your reckoning. So go and bring home the glory alive.
All right, everyone. Final game of the night. We have the Hornets on the blue side taking on the Spartans on the red, and we see it's just going to be another 5-point. That's crazy coming in from both sides.
Yeah, nothing too spicy level 1,
30
but
seconds
we
until
saw a
minions
big
spawn.
upset in the last game, but this one's got a bit of a different rhyme. You know, both of these teams are 5 and 6 and in the night, and they are looking to take one over each other, go ahead in the standings.
Ooh.
Okay, they're gonna fight a bit. I don't think anything will happen though. Actually, the
There's
Poppy's
the
coming.
trade. Poppy's here early, and Casante's already stacked up the Intofo blows. Not going to find the knockup, though, but Metro Dragon doesn't have in-lane sustain. Oh, but one is going to go wide here, and no Conqueror just yet. Oh, my goodness. Those are just going wide, and guys are not able to trade back truly effectively.
Yeah, those Antofo strikes almost hit me up here in the caster desk, but none of them end up landing on the Wukong at the end. But yeah, they're gonna be
He's
looking.
drinking a potion. He didn't base.
Yeah, this is a bit rough for the Wukong actually. He doesn't have the TP like the Kasante, so he can't just go back. And if Kasante can keep bullying him, this gets pretty rough for the Wukong early.
And the Wukong did start the long cooldown, the 16-second cooldown early. And Geyser,
Uh,
wait, Geyser hit him.
bit
And
AFK.
there's one, and Topho Strike does land, and it's going to be a winning trade for the Cassante. Again, the sustain advantage goes to the Cassante because he has the items to do so, right? He has the Doran Shield. And Annie just lands that one stun, does a big chunk of damage to Lissandra, and just going to walk away.
Yeah, and both of these junglers going to be taking leashless starts because their top laners want to brawl instead. But yeah, both going top to bot here. And we see Jarvan going to the Wolf second, which is pretty unusual. But yeah, Poppy, like both of them are going to be looking at this bot lane, right? This is a volatile bot lane. Zeri needs to get ahead if they have a chance, want to have a chance in this game. So I want to see Jarvan trying to go towards this bot lane, but he's looking to full clear instead. Maybe going to go there a bit later on.
And we just see early trading from both mid laners so far. Nothing too out of the ordinary here. We see the Xayah and the Rakan, they do generally have the push. And that's mostly just because of the Yuumi actually just sitting on the Zeri level 1, which is actually not what you want to do in that matchup. In general, you win trades as Yuumi level 1 because of your shield. If your shield starts to Q start. So you don't have to sit on your AD carry. But we see an early game gank coming in. Oh, this should just be free.
Pull the trigger.
W flash. Go right on. There we go. Knocker's going to land as well. This should just be a free kill as the flash is burned as well. And it just goes down. Mollywops helping Ranor grab that one.
Beautiful play by the Jarvan and Lissandra. The Jarvan, he is in a perfect position there as the Annie was cheating towards the top side. And Lissandra goes in, snares the Annie, and then there's no counterplay. Easy knock up as they're brawling it out. Will the Intofo strikes land?
Oh. No, they're going to go wide, but the footwork not going to help Geyser out that much in that trade. The shield not absorbing any damage, so it's just going to be even, but wave state, I mean, Geyser is a little healthier, and again, has the sustained advantage here in this lane.
Yeah, the D-Shield helps him come out on top of these trades, and he's continuing to bully this Wukong. I'll be honest, I don't know how the matchup is supposed to go, but Geyser is making a really good case for the Cassante right now.
Oh my goodness. Metro just sort of getting bullied in this lane.
Yeah, but he is able to get majority of the CS. Hasn't lost too much now. So he is going to be okay as both the junglers hovering around bot looking to make something happen soon.
And yeah, they'll probably projectile going to land on Ultra. Not going to really do all that much here, but both junglers, like you said, on the bot side of the map, but nothing too crazy going to happen because the Jarvan was spotted out.
Yeah, good wards on the side of the Spartans as they know exactly where this Jarvan is. They know he went back to his crowd, so I want to see Poppy going over to that top side, take that scuttle before the Jarvan gets there. And yeah, I want to see that continued vision, right? And that's exactly what's going to stop Jarvan from getting off these surprise ganks. Not only have they warded the river, but they warded the lane rush. And yeah, they predicted it. Jarvan is trying to walk into lane.
Oh, they're going in. Knockup lands there onto Enders, and pullback not going to land, but it's a good chunk there from Ultra and Boogie onto Enders and Giggle.
Yeah, I believe they saw the Jarvan, so they don't go in too far. Whoever put that ward in the lane was a hero, most likely saved or at least a flash from the side there.
And Metro, again, just kind of struggling here in this lane. 10 CS down now.
Yeah, he continues to try and trade with the Cassante, but it does not go out for him as you deal such an insignificant amount of damage and the D-Shield just heals it back. So, really not worth.
Mollywops goes in, a good chunk of damage there down onto Adjust, but Raynor taking a good chunk of damage as well. It's going to be a 3v3 in the bot side. The ground lands, can't get out to safety as Ultra will find the kill with the Ignite, and Anders is just forced to watch as his jungler goes down.
Yeah, the steadfast presence making the difference there as Jarvan cannot dash out and ends up going down to the counter gank. They know the Jarvan was sitting in the bush and they punish it, and this should be the early mountain drag going over to the side of the Spartans.
Geyser has a Star Walk available here, and if he does Star Walk, it gets him a full mana reset.
Yeah, but the Wukong still has the clone, can have the monkey trickery, so he's holding his ground, keeping up his lead, and just continuing to bully this monkey
Going in
every
here.
time he goes in.
Low mana, just getting chunked out. Can't really do much. Both these top players want a base here, but it's going to be the bigger loss here for Metro, as the Dragon goes down on the bot side as well. So, realistically, both sides of the map, or both side lanes are looking really, really hot so far in this game from the Spartans.
Yeah, actually, Lissandra does have a really good CS lead that's just slowly been built up over time. So she's matching that CS advantage that the Cassante has gained. So the solo lanes kind of nullifying each other out here. But yeah, Zeri, even though the Jarvan came into the lane, gave the Rakana kill, pretty even in lane with the Zaya. She's built up a little bit of a CS lead because she's going to pick up that wave as she comes in here.
No flash Annie. And they're looking for the play here. Mollywop still has the flash, so could look for a W flash combo or an R flash onto Adjust.
Yeah, this should easily be a kill if they just flash WR with the Lissandra. That should just be a kill. But
Does Mollywops have the mana though? That's the real question for that full rotation.
They should. Like if you don't use your E and just flash W, you should have it.
The E's gonna be burned here, and flash forward. They don't have enough mana. Oh, they do just enough mana for the R, as they're gonna go down. The Frozen Tomb lands, and the ultimate goes down, and Mollywops will find one. So it is gonna be a big play coming in from Mollywops. I think it could have gone a little cleaner, but overall, just a good look. And they're gonna be able to push in this wave and look for vision. It's so easy.
Yeah.
It's so hard to fail.
Like, you know that Annie doesn't have flash, so just flash R, and Jarvan follows up. Simple as that, and they're able to execute it. This Annie's having a tough time, as I believe she wasn't really putting any wards down, and when you're an immobile mage, you're just gonna get punished.
And guys are just having a pretty solid time here up against Metro. Sort of winning everything. Oh no, the Intova Strikes land on the wrong champion here, but could Star Walk him back into tower, not gonna look to do so. And I think that was the play there, just Star Walk him into tower.
Yeah, he's not going for it.
Oh, the Ignite's going to go down. Not going to Star Walk just yet here, but will find the Intova Strikes. Has the knockup available. Can he find it? Not going to do so. The Kyle Isaac clone. He's going to land, but guys are so unbelievably low. And will find the kill. No, it's just the wrong way to push him. As Geyser will go down, but Ultra, they find something onto Giggle. They find the knockout Boogie stuck in the Cataclysm as Anders will find the kill. Ultra forced to flash out to safety, and they won't find anything more, but it's a big win for the Hornets.
Yeah, Hornets winning on both sides of the map here as Jarvan is there. The bot lane 2v2 was looking so close, but J4 comes in for the gank and picks up a kill for their side. And Cassante, he was out there, you know? 1 HP gets out, but he flashes back in, I believe, even though Wukong has a second ultimate and just ends up killing himself as he ends up going down. The Wukong, he was having such a hard time this entire laning phase, but all that is just canceled out as he gets a solo kill.
I think the play there is W flash the Wukong into closer to the tower instead of Wing nothing, and then Star Walk him into the tower and win.
Yeah, if he pulled his ult a bit earlier there in that bush, he could have got him into the tower with the RW, but doesn't end up working out.
Oh my goodness. Adjust taking a lot of damage there from Mollywops, and Mollywops just knows, hey, I have a decent item advantage, right? I have a little bit more AP than you. I can just look to trade aggressively. As guys are just trying to find a little bit of something here. And then Tova Strike's going to land on the clone once more, but going to W him backwards, not fully towards the tower here. But no Cyclone available, no ultimates available in either of these top laners here. But so far, guys are still winning out on these trades.
Yeah, the trades are still looking good for him as he's got Damage Cinder and the Chain Webs doing a lot of work in these trades. And yeah, Wukong's in a bit of a tricky spot here, but I think he should be able to get out of there safely.
Oh. Gonna get spotted out by the control ward though.
Yeah, more CS lost though again. So Cassante slowly building up that CS discrepancy, becoming stronger in this top lane.
And so far we see Pinks coming out towards this top side of the map, coming forward as Raynor is up and available and could use that W from the Cassante, trying to find the knockup there onto Dragnews. Taking a good chunk of damage. But here comes Phoenix here. The clone has already been used here, but Star walks the clone! No, Geyser, that was the wrong target there as 40 goes, but can't find anything more.
Yeah, bit of a mistake there as Jarvan comes top lane too, but I believe Cassante... Actually,
See
no,
the
the
pings?
Poppy just leaves. They can go on Cassante now.
Can go
Jarvan has ult.
trying, but
Yeah, he
will
ends up
not able to
going
walk
out.
out.
Yeah, not the best pathing there. I'm pretty sure if you walked in, like, just like trying to cut him off instead of right at him, the Cassante should have been dead there, but he ends up going out here as Poppy actually already finished with the Sunfire Cape. She's looking very strong. That should be the first mythic? Yeah, that's the, or I guess first item finished. This next dragon's coming up, and this Poppy is going to be super strong and hard to kill here.
Yeah, and so far, this Poppy quite tanky, so should be looking pretty strong, right? No mythic available on Raynor just yet, but we see... Oh, they're looking for the play here onto Adjust, who doesn't have the stun up, so it's just be a free kill, but Mollywops doesn't even care, unfazed by the tower, as Phoenix can just watch as the mid laner goes down.
Yeah, I don't know if you saw it there, but Poppy failed the flash over the wall.
Oh,
if he did
no.
that flash, he could have pushed him into his own Jarvan ult, and that whole fight would have looked so different. But it was a disaster for the Poppy, and another kill going over to this Jarvan Lissandra combo. That's just punishing this Annie so hard.
And the main thing we've said is the Thrallers just have to get out of lane, and they're really not doing a great job of doing so, as Ultra are going to be forced to walk away there from that trade. But Phoenix is here, and they could look here onto Intercept, but Flushing's just going to buy some space here, but Ultra going for it with the quickness, but can't get onto the target in time.
W.
Taking so much damage, doesn't have the grand entrance right, and going to use the Keeper's Verdict, can't find the damage here, but Enders is just firing away. The Burst Fire doing a lot of work here. The Lightning Crash as well, as Enders will grab the kill with the execution with that big old passive auto.
Yeah, it took him like 30 auto attacks, but he finally kills the Poppy as just some really questionable play going on there by the side of Spartans. They were just not on the same page, and Poppy ends up going down because of that.
Sucks up 30 CS.
God, he's doing so well on these trades, and Wukong tries to fight back instead of going for CS. So every time they're trading, Wukong is losing some CS here and there, and it has been adding up.
Things are looking a little rough, but at the same time, the Wukong has been able to grab 2 plates for himself. But Sunfire Age is completed here for Geyser. So both the top and jungle have their first items ready and raring to go. But Mollywops also having that Everfrost, just looking to CC chain someone to death. And Raynor already having that Gore Drinker too.
Yeah, and mythics are coming out, but at the same time, the Jarvan finally ends up killing that Chemtech Dragon because the jungler was dead on the other side. So 1-1 for the counter dragons now.
Oh, no, the bait! The bait! Metro Dragon Hill doesn't use the clone already. The Cyclone is going to go down here, but guys are not going to look to use the Star Walk just yet here. I actually think now's the time to look for the trade, right?
Yeah.
Go in. Oh no, the clone is going to be used now, and Metro is going to be able to walk out to safety. That was a perfect opportunity to use the Star Walk after the Cyclone was down.
I think it's just the mind games. He Star Walked the clone earlier, so this time he is...
Oh, Mollywops is going forward, actually, as the flash forward from Raynor will find the Annie, and the damage is there. Tibbers stuck in the baby cage, but Mollywops will find the kill, as Tibbers can't even find a path to Molly, as it's going to be a double kill for the Lissandra.
Double kill for Lissandra there. The Annie, she has flash, she has ghost, but she uses none of them. So she's just trapped in the Jarvan ult and slowly goes down. If she used the flash there, I'm pretty sure they could have at least traded something back. But Jarvan and Lissandra are running away with this game.
And it's supposed to be a low damage composition, but if they're so far ahead, it doesn't matter.
Yeah, it's 8-1 now. They are like 5,000 gold ahead, and this is exactly where you want to be. The Zeri's got some kills, the Sandra's got some kills. The gold is in the right hands, and they're looking to actually have a pretty good impact in these team fights.
And they're doing a great job as Ender's just unafraid to walk into enemy jungle. Has the lightning crash, gonna just walk out of the grand entrance and just slide and glide over the wall.
Yep, Zeri moment. She doesn't have to be scared of anything. Played it calm, dodges the knockup, and just gets out.
Didn't even use a dash to get away from the knockup, just walked.
Yeah.
As Metro actually very, very low on mana here.
Yeah, Metro's trade pattern so far has just been EQ in and then W out instantly. So really mana heavy combo.
Oh my goodness. In goes Raynor and Enders as Boogie stuck in the wrong place at the wrong time. Already used the flash, already used the Gale Force. Trying to run out to safety, will be able to do so though.
Yeah, Saya ends up burning the flash, is able to get out of there, but that's a flash burn, so you can return a bit later. The Jarvan flash, the Lissandra flash will both come up earlier, so they should look to punish on those timers.
No quickness available on Ultra as well. Did use that one. But in goes Metro. Gonna take a good chunk of damage there, but the shield from the footwork gonna stop the tower from hurting Geyser here. As
And Tofus are just hitting hard.
they hit hard.
Every time Wukong wants to go for
No mana. Starwalk. In he goes, but doesn't have the knockup available. And the clone is not enough, as Metro will find the kill with the flash ignite. And Geyser gets baited again.
Yeah, and you have to be so careful with Wukong as he pulls out the monkey business with the clone. And yeah, just able to dodge a lot of the damage. And Cassante ends up going down to just a lot of tower damage in the end.
While playing for optimal damage on Cassante, you're not able to actually land optimal CC. So I think guys are just trying to deal as much damage as possible, but trying to space in those autos means you're not able to keep the CC chain going, and that's why Metro is able to clone.
Yeah, oh, the TP's coming out here.
Oh, no mana.
Poppy's running back.
Oh no, Keep the Vertigo goes wide. Flash is available here onto the Poppy. Can't try and get out to safety, but Everfrost is going to land as well. Phoenix trying to run for the hills. And Geyser can't really look here, as Phoenix is so incredibly low. Geyser trying to help out the team a little bit. We'll find a double stun here. The Intopo strikes are going to land, has the knockup available. Q3 is up and ready to go, and Justice here as well. The flash forward lands a stun here onto Mollywops, and this is going to be a shutdown. Who's going to grab this one? It's going to be a Just who grabs it.
Yeah, 300 goals shut down coming out for the Henny. You see the power of the Poppy with her steadfast presence and her just innate tankiness. She's just able to walk it out, stall enough time for the Annie to come, and they turn it around. But yeah, like, again, I want to bring back to the story of the top lane. The Cassante he does so well the entire lane, and then goes a bit too aggro, ends up dying, and Wukong just ends up evening out the gold. As now he's got the Sunder, those trades are going to be a lot better for him.
And this Cassante is unfortunately wasn't able to find the perfect opportunity, and is struggling. But, you know, other than that, the trade patterns have looked pretty solid, at least the basic trading. It's just when the all-in fully goes forward. But, hey, they're able to grab an objective bounty. That's a good look here from Geyser, but Metro going in with the Cyclone, doing a lot of damage here. All-out is not available just yet here for Geyser, who's trying to find the knockup. We'll find the Intopo strike back. And Geyser trying to run for the hills with the footwork here, but the Sissandra just has so much sustain.
Yeah,
As Geyser can't really trade back.
Huge difference in damage. These trades aren't looking close now. The Wukong is strong. He's got the Sunder. He's just hard out damaging the Cassante, and now Cassante's like, hold up, I can't just trade randomly here. I gotta be careful.
Oh my goodness, Geyser should just go down. No! He Star walks the clone again, as Geyser is just a sitting duck under the tower here. But wait, this could be the CC chain. The dash to the minions. Metro is so incredibly low. No flash out to safety, as it's gonna be a shutdown over to Geyser.
It happened again, Salt. It happened again. The next tower dive goes wrong. Can they stop tower diving and dying? And yeah, Cassante picks up the kill here. Holds onto his tower as well, as the dragon ends up going down. That's 2 for the side of the Hornets now.
Yeah, they were able to pick up some shutdowns, right? They're now only 1k down in comparison to the almost 5k they were earlier.
Yeah, exactly. It's been just a huge difference, huge turnaround in these past few minutes. As, yeah, the Annie, her damage isn't quite there yet, but over time, you know, she actually went to Leandry's here. Do you agree with that?
Nope. Not in the slightest this game.
Yep, exactly. You know, she doesn't have the damage to just burst down the Zeri, but at the same time, she's not one of those DPS mages that makes good use out of the Leandries, like something like a Brand or something like that, right? But yeah, ends up going for the Leandries. We'll see if it does end up making a difference. If we see a Zeri that lives on 1 HP, you know why.
We know exactly why. But, you know, Annie has a stopwatch at the very least, so, you know, the all-ins aren't going to look nearly as scary here. But Geyser does have, you know, a Sheen now, so the trade shouldn't look as horrendous. But I think you need a Bramble Vest here as Metro taking a good chunk of damage. No, the clone, once again, baits out Geyser, but this time doesn't have the Star Walk, though, so is going to be struggling. The Ignite is already down here and has the Intopo Strike to try and buy some space, but Geyser should be able to walk out.
Yeah, but he doesn't have any healing reduction, right? So these trades just look so bad for him.
We know. Oh, tower goes down. That's more gold.
Not able to kill it in time, as he doesn't have TP. He's just backing and giving up the tower, as maybe he's scared of being dove under. But without the threat of the ultimate, I didn't know if he really had the damage to get dove.
Has the W damage reduction as well. Could have stalled for the Star Walk, but opted to just give the tower and just try and get, you know, a good base timer, right? Actually now up 500 gold here on the Wukong.
Yeah, exactly. And
Oh, they're going under. They're looking for Boogie, but they can't find the commit. And a beautiful Blade Caller will find Mollywobs, but the Glacial Tomb doing a lot of work to buy space, and Ender's just so tanky with the Yuumi healing with the shields. But out goes the Jarvan into the baby cage, and Adjust doesn't have the flash yet, so can't commit here onto Ender's, but they're just giving this area the passive stacks, or the ulti stacks. They're just running out to safety.
Yeah, somehow not a single person died in that fiesta as they got their eyes on the Wukong now, who's greeting for this inner tower. They're looking for him. They want to get the kill. And Wukong, he's still hitting the tower. He doesn't care.
But he's still hitting. And Ultra's here. Phoenix is here as well. Here, Metro using the steadfast presence a little early, but they're looking to try and catch out this Wukong. Very low mana. And no Star Walk available just yet either. But the mind games happen once more as the flash is going to land, but Adjust is here. Will find the stun, and this should just be a guaranteed kill. And they're going to gift it over to Adjust.
Yeah, and he comes over, and with the help of the Tippers, they are able to kill the monkey, but they also get his flash, I believe, so that's another important cooldown that I don't know if you really wanted to end up using there, because he was just so deep in enemy territory.
And look at the Zeri CS. She is farming so incredibly well this game.
Yeah,
She's 20 minutes, 243 CS.
Alright, we got some freaking Uzi over here.
Is that Chovy? What's going on here?
Like, oh my god, that's actually an insane amount of CS differential. She was like a decent amount of CS up on the Xayah in laning phase, but you know, just like that, she has an insane amount of CS up. And you know what that means? She gets the earlier 2 item completions. She has 2 items and a component while Xayah is still trying to finish that second item. And that's the big difference you need, right? If Zeri has that kind of damage, she can run over team fights.
And Phoenix just trying to contest this at least a little bit. Make sure to get the Gromp. Raynor. Yeah. Oh my god, the Raynor is able to get the smite over the wall.
Yeah, the flag
that's quite miserable.
He deals it away as the Zeri with the Yuumi on her back is just a powerhouse right now. And unlike the last Zeri we saw, this one is building right.
Has Navori just wanted to dash away and into tanks. You know, having the dash is actually really, really helpful. To just be able to dodge away from the CC and just have the mobility uptime, which is quite important.
Yeah, she's gonna be in charge of peeling herself, as the Lissandra can kind of peel for her, but the Wukong and Jarvan just want to be going in, right? And yeah, we'll have to see, like, oh, Wukong going in again, but Poppy is here.
Oh no, the clone, but it's already been used here. You can Star Walk the right target this time, as Phoenix cannot find the stun. A good Cyclone to cancel that one here, but Metro is going to try and live for as long as possible, but the knockups are just too much here. As Metro, you already know the clone's been used, and you're just going to go down. Who's going to grab this one? It's going to be Geyser picking up the kill.
Yeah, and Metro is just so far up without any vision. So Poppy takes her time coming up to the top lane, and they easily kill the monkey here. He has not had the impact he wanted. Like, he has got the inner tower, but in going down there, oh, they're starting up the dragon, but the enemy team's here.
Ultra's going in, using the Shurelya's Reverie to try and buy some space. They're looking onto Mollywobs, but Mollywobs has the stopwatch here. Cataclysm lands onto 3 as Adjust is stuck in the wrong place at the wrong time. Can't drop the Tibbers just yet as Boogie is running for the hills. It's a double kill over to the Zeri as Lil Nas goes down too.
Yeah, overall it was a 4v5, but the Poppy wasn't there to help with the lockdown. And Zeri was the one engaged upon. They engaged on Lissandra. She's got a Zanya. She's got an ult. She has all the stall in the world, right? So that is not who you want to go on, which means Zeri gets the free hit, gets the ult stacks up, and the fight is just so easy to win.
It's a little bit of a rough spot here for Spartans, right? And they are down so much gold. They're down 6k once again. This gold lead has fluctuated quite a bit, yes, but it's never been in the favor of the Spartans.
Yeah, Spartans are just always on the back foot here, and we talked about how they would be better in the team fights, but not when they're going into the enemy team, right? They want to be the ones in the dragon pit. They want the enemy team to go into them so that Xayah can deal the big damage. But little scuffle going out here. They just might have the damage. Oh,
Raynor can't get out to safety. He missed the flag, missed the dragon. Metro's there as well, but a flash can't find the stun there. But guys are going for it. The Shurelya's Reverie going to try and get them the move speed, but it's not enough.
Yeah,
they're able to make the great
to help out, and using the ult, they are able to get away, but Jarvan has to burn the flag because he messes up the EQ combo over the wall.
It might have been the flag being pushed too far because of the wall.
Yeah, that could be it. That makes complete sense as it was right next to the wall, and yeah, that little interaction cost them in the end.
toss out the flash, and that feels really, really rough here. But look, K'Sante sitting on 2.5 items. Pretty strong here into this Wukong now. Has the heal cut too, so these trades should definitely go in favor of K'Sante. But the Zeri, look at her items. Oh my goodness, almost finished up with that Bloodthirster. Not opting for any attack speed because the Yumi provides so much.
Exactly. I like the Bloodthirster in this game. It's going to help her just kite out. Like the K'Sante, he's going to do a bit of damage, right? When he goes all out. But using the Bloodthirster, using the shield though, she's going to be able to sustain back up even though there is some healing reduction.
3 items at 25 minutes. 296 CS at 25 minutes.
He's crazy. That's some crazy CS here as these guys are duking it out, but the rest of the
Metro,
team
you
are
dashed
collapsing.
forward again. Forced to flash away to safety. Raynor gonna use that flag to deter the rest of Spartans as they're just gonna clear this one. Oh,
Yeah.
Raynor going in. I don't know if that's the play here, my friend. As Geyser has the Intoba Strikes, will find the knockup, but Raynor goes in. Will find the Cataclysm wants to do his Eye-Enders, shows up over the wall, but the Keeper's vertical
Huge
knock
ulti.
out 3 of them as they only lose
Hey,
1.
there's a cat. 4.
4, true.
But yeah, they do end up killing the mid laner, and this means Dragon, as I believe in the mid lane, Lissandra went in on the Xayah and chunked her out, so she has to back, the rest of the team has to back, and this should actually be a free Baron.
Lissandra just burned everything on her own, and that's exactly what you don't want to be seeing here as a Xayah. Lissandra should never be doing enough damage to burn all of your summoners, all of your cooldowns to get out, but it's just a free Baron.
Yeah, I believe it was more the threat. Like, you see a Lissandra using flash to engage on you, there's probably someone behind, right? But the map awareness wasn't quite there, and she just wanted to not risk it and get the flash out. But the Baron does end up going down, and you know... Alright, that's...
Phoenix just running away.
Yeah, but yeah, the Zeri is just so strong right now. She was not the focus of the side of the Spartans, and she just dealt so much damage in that team fight that, yeah, like, the Zeri's becoming such a big problem now that you can't just wait for the side of the Hornets to run into you and just kill the front line. You need to deal with her somehow.
Death Brush.
Yeah,
It's not
that's
swept.
a good way to deal with her.
But this Siege minion going to be doing a lot of work here as Ultra and Boogie trying to bait them in to look for something here.
Yeah, well, they're
They're going to show. Wait, they're going. Looking for Enders. Oh, they find the stun here, and they're trying to one-shot. Can they Star Walk? Can they do something here? They're going forward, and they're landing all their damages. Phoenix will grab the kill, and it's not going to find much because the Dragon's not up yet. There's nothing available, but at the very least, they get the bot lane.
Yeah, and
It's
great
cool.
engage by everyone on the team. Zeri, there was a death warrant on her. She was worth 700 gold shut down, and Poppy ends up getting it, as now their eyes are on the Dragon, but it's still 45 seconds. Zeri's going to be up.
There he is going to be up, in fact, and Raynor forced to go over the wall.
Yeah, the key thing though, they got her flash and her ghost. She didn't just die, she burnt everything. So you now know that Missouri doesn't have any of her sums for this upcoming team fight. You gotta put your focus on her. Get her out of the way so that you can win this team fight.
Quickness is not going to be up just yet. 40 seconds left on that cooldown. So 20 seconds after the Dragon spawns, they have their main engage tool ready to go. But
don't have Timothy
Geyser still
either.
has the all out.
Yeah, we'll see what ends up happening. I feel like it's going to be pretty close here. It's all about can they get onto this Zeri at this point. So let's see how the execution of both of these teams are as they both start coming to the Dragon Pit.
He has to go. Still flash, though. As Raynor just
Trevor's
dashes
dead.
into the pit here, and they might just look to try and stun it. They find the stun. They're trying to find the CC chain here. It's going to be able to flag drag out to safety, but very, very low, but has the red buff to sustain up. 7k on the Dragon. In goes Mollywop. So beautiful CC into everyone, but out goes Ienders. The Star Walk will get him out to safety here as they're going to find one. The Cataclysm will claim that kill as Molly doing so much work on the backside. Still alive, still taking up so much damage, but will get shredded with the feathers. It's Boogie and Phoenix versus the world as everyone is falling around them. And they're going to go down. It's a triple kill for Metro. And Boogie trying to run, trying to pull back. But Metro should have the bonk available in just a second here. And the blue ward going to be enough as the bonk goes down. The monkey stick lands. And Boogie goes down as well as a dragon. It's a quadra for Metro.
Metro comes up huge in this team fight. A quadra kill for the Monkey King as they end up securing the Ocean Soul for themselves. It is so big in these fights to stop the team from going down. And yeah, this is just great execution from the side of the Hornets as they end up picking up another inner turret and they are marching into the base of the Spartans.
They can do whatever they want. They have the wallets to do so. Their ball lane is so incredibly strong now. 3.5 items here and adjust. Use the stun. Doesn't really have that one, so can't walk up anymore.
Yeah, and I want to point out that Annie is going Leandri's Rylai's. Like, she does not have the damage to kill anyone.
No, unfortunately, that is the utility build from Annie, but that means you just have no source of AP damage here. And
Yeah,
things
the
are looking
second
a little
highest
rough.
threat is like a Cassante going all out, I guess. But with the Ocean Soul now, the amount of lifesteal on Zeri, like she wasn't even there for half of the fight. I'm pretty sure she came in at the end with the Yumi, but they were still able to win that fight so handily that these upcoming team fights just look so rough for the side of the Spartans.
They're going to get spotted out there by the far side alteration, and they can't really do all that much. They're just going to back off and let this wave push here. But Enders actually looking for a little bit of a tussle here. Not going to be able to find the slowdown there onto Phoenix.
Yeah, they are grouping up onto the top side here as that is the last inhibitor tower left up. They're going to be pushing out this wave, letting the mid minions come in at the same time so that they can crash it together.
And getting these crashes in sync is going to feel really good. Annie is forced to match that mid wave here as the 4-stack moves towards this top side of the map now. Top wave, a good shot, but they're looking to catch out Boogie here as they use the Lightning Crash and into the Cataclysm. Boogie goes, can't get out with the Gale Forces. Guys are just trying to buy some space into the backline here, but it doesn't even matter as Raynor will find the kill. Assange doing so much work with these zombies. Phoenix is taking a big chunk of damage, and Enders is still basically free-firing as guys just can't really find the opportunity. Trying to start walking out to safety, may be able to find Raynor, but Raynor's not going to go down just yet. Will finally fall as Enders is still alive, but will get stopped against the wall. Doesn't have the shields, and will fall as Giggle forced under the tower. Going to go down here, but Mollywops is still up, still strong here, but will be able to get out to safety. But a flash from Phoenix will try and find some stall time here as Molly is just running for the hills, has the Ocean Soul, but look at the base, it's Ultra, and guys just have to defend against Metro, who's just been bonking away these towers, wasn't even there for that team fight, just hitting away with the stick. As the towers go down, the teleport's going to be used as well. Lasandra trying to join this fight here, but the Cyclone doing so much work, the Conqueror is conquering them all. As the Spartans are just watching the base fall, there is one measly person left. They're not the 300, they're only the one. As the Nexus is going to fall in just a second, Boogie is just trying to pad out some DPS, trying to do something here, trying to buy some time as Molly just going in, finds a Glacial Tomb, and it's just going to be a free kill as Metro will bonk him over the head.
Metro Dragneel was on that base the entire time. Then the TP comes in from Mollywhoops, and they are just so strong together as they end up winning this game. They were in control this entire time, and this Wukong with the quadra kill in the last fight, picking up the towers, picking up the Nexus, and that's the game 3 win for the side of the Hornets.
I mean, the Hornets, they looked incredible. There were a couple of blunders, but other than that, I mean, they just played a mean game. And when the team fighting came through, that's where they really showed, right? Metro just showing up when necessary, finding that quadra kill. But at the same time, also knowing, hey, my team doesn't need me, and I'm going to hit these towers and just try and end the game all on my own.
Yeah, actually, a surprising thing I want to point out, Lissandra had the most damage in the game. Playing a utility mid laner, she popped off in these fights, finding the angles on Annie repeatedly in lane, and having great positioning in these team fights. When they engaged on her, she stalled so well and still got so much damage out. And in the end, that is all that's needed as Wukong, using that stalling, picked up the kills on everyone. Honestly, the Zeri was really fed, but she wasn't even needed much in these team fights. She was late to one, ended up dying in the other, but the Wukong was just such a menace. As Hornets, they end up picking up the win. They go ahead of the Spartans in the standings. As yeah, great win for them.
It's a big win coming in, and that pushes them into a good spot here as we caress the halfway point of the round robin, right? They're in a good spot. And I mean, the Hornets showed that they have ways to play the game, and like Geyser did a good amount of work, right? Most damage on the team by a big margin too.
Yeah, and it was just a great job by the entire team. And honestly, the Spartans, they tried their best, but they just weren't able to do much in the end. The team fights were too much for them. And yeah, they end up picking up the win, and that's going to be the end of the night here. Thanks, everyone, for tuning in. We hope to see you next week for week 5. Goodbye.
This is everything. The glitch mom, Mako, the word of love. It's Bobby, by the way. Let's get it. Welcome to the world, no heroes and villains. Welcome to the war, we've only begun. So yeah, we can never be humble. We gon' shine. Movie scene when we enter. 평생들이처럼 고백 형님의 heavy metal. Smell like a tin spirit 좀 golden lord 번호. Pick up your weapon and face it 아무도 널 막지 않아. 뭘 그리 말 많아 간중은 널 믿지 않아.